Hello, hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello, welcome to today's stream, welcome. Today, finally, we are going to be getting back into Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 1, Onikakushi, which I'm really excited about. I've been wanting to continue this for ages. I didn't want to take a break, but I will say, before we get started, my voice is back, of course, as you can see, but I've been randomly just like having a little coughing fits. Like, I'm not sick, my voice is still a little weird. And so while I can talk fine, if I randomly start coughing, don't worry, I'm okay. But yeah. Lots of exciting things at the moment, though. First exciting thing just regarding the stream is I mentioned in Discord that I did in fact figure out what I was doing wrong with the sprites. So now we should be all set. We should have not only the OG sprites, but also the original backgrounds. The background art was different in the original game, so it should look like completely authentic to like how the game looked back in old times. Like the original aesthetic of Higurashi, so I'm very excited for that. Yesterday something very exciting happened. Yesterday, two exciting things happened actually. Exciting thing number one was that I got my package in the mail from my parents, which means I have my Cinnamoroll again. Cinnamoroll has returned to me. And I'll send you guys a picture. I'll put it in Discord later after the stream. But when my parents sent me Cinnamoroll, I guess they went to Build-A-Bear and got the new Cinnamoroll outfit. So my Cinnamoroll now has a new like little outfit. It's so cute. It has like the pattern. It has Cinnamoroll and milk and mocha on it. And like a little bow tie. It's so freaking cute. So I'm very happy about that. I have my little guy. He is very dapper. Oh, I'm so utterly delighted. I missed my little guy so much, so it's nice to know I have both my silly little guys. I've got my Eevee and my Cinnamoroll now. I'm so happy. Oh, but that's not the only silly little guy I acquired yesterday. I think have I mentioned before? Actually, I might not have. Every time I go to a store, whether it's a Pokemon Center or just like a store that happens to sell Pokemon plushies, I always very specifically look for a Grovyle plushie. Because Grovyle is my favorite character in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, which is also my favorite video game of all time, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. So every time I go to a place, whether it's a Pokemon Center specifically or just a place that has Pokemon plushies, I look and I search for a Grovyle, and I never found him. No one ever just has Grovyle. Like, I always find like Sceptile, I always find Trico. For some reason, Grovyle is like never in stock. So I'm always sad about that, but yesterday I found him, I found Grovyle. So I bought a Grovyle plushie, so now I literally, in one day, I acquired both my dream Grovyle plushie, and I got Cinnamoroll, so I am in a very happy, silly mood right now. And now we're gonna play Higurashi. I'm so excited. So yeah. Like I said, my voice is back, but it gets weird sometimes. I don't think I'm used to talking this much regularly, but at my job, not to talk about my job too much, but I talk a lot. I talk a lot more than I expected, so my voice gets very tired now. But we're here. We are here to have some fun. I'm excited. I am happy. Also, I'm having a lovely breakfast. Because someone at my job gifted me strawberries. So I have strawberries that I've been munching on. I also bought some melon pan from the konbini last night. So I have melon pan and I have strawberries. I am truly thriving right now. Well, let's go ahead and get the game started. Alright, let's see. Let me get it open. I'm so excited that it's now the OG art style. It's gonna look so cool. Alright, let's see if we can switch over. Is it a window caps? I think so. Yes. There we go. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that, guys. My voice, I'm sorry. Okay. Alright, let's go. And we can continue from, yeah, we should be able to load this save file. Let's go. I think we're done with tips. We can just go ahead and continue. Wow. Look at that. This is what I'm talking about. This is higurashi. Let's hecking go. No, this is so perfect. Let's go. I love Rika's sprite. So iconic.
しかし、年頃の女の子がゴミ漁りね。
レナが楽しいならいいんだと思いますです。
あそこはなんだよ。ダムの工事現場だったのか?
It had been bugging me since yesterday, like an itch I couldn't scratch.
何年か前に中止になっちゃったけどね。
みんなで力を合わせて戦いましたです。
Hearing an ominous word like "fought" come from Rika-chan's mouth startled me.
そうそう。何しろとんでもない話だったんだよ。ひなみ沢が丸ごとダム湖に沈むことに一方的になってさ。
So I'm only able to be here because the protest succeeded.
ごめんね。
Look at them. It's them. Everyone looks so cute in this art style. It's so silly. They are the sillies.
待たせちゃったかな。申し訳ありませんわね、ケイツさん。お化粧直しに時間をかけちゃいまして。
さとこ、便所には溜めてから行け。一気に出せて楽で早いぞ。
花も恥じらう乙女になんて口の利き方。
Wow, would she call it a maiden? If Satoko really was a maiden, she wouldn't have reacted like that. The usual hijinks ensued.
さてと、今日は快速に乗っ取り、部員の諸君に是非を問いたい。彼、前原圭一君を新たな部員として我らの部活動に加えたいのだが、いかがだろうか。
レナは異議なーし。
Actually, just realized this format actually makes it easier for you guys to read the text, right? And let me check. Are we? I'm not cutting off. Oh, I am cutting off. Give me a second, I'll fix that. Like, wait a second, you guys can't see all of the text? I think I can just, like, shrink it a bit, right? Yeah. Right, now you can read it all. Nice. Sorry about that. I didn't realize I was cutting off the top. Now you can read. The three that Mion had queried voiced their approval. Hello, welcome to stream. Welcome.
君に栄えある我が部への入部試験を許可する。
順を追って説明しろ。俺はまだ入るとは言ってないぞ。何の部活だ？
It's the murder club. わははは。
我が部はだな。複雑化する社会に対応するため、活動ごとに提案される様々な条件か。
In order to cope with our complicated society.
には準教。あるいは逆境からいかにして。
レナは弱いからいじめないでほしいな。仲良くやろうね。
I love how they're making it out to be such an intense, hardcore club, which I mean it totally is.
甘えてますわ。弱い者は食い尽くされるのが世の常なのでございますわよ。
There's a voiced version, I had no idea. Yeah, this is like... I don't know when specifically the voice version came out, but yeah, it's like the original voice actors. Like, it's pretty much, I think, every time higurashi is voice acted, it's the same voice actresses. Like, the same voice actors. But yeah, I think it's a mod you have to install. I think if you just directly download from Steam, there's no voice acting. But if you get the 07th mod, which is pretty easy to download, then you can get the voice actors included. And I think it enhances the experience. Plus, then I don't have to read as much, because that will kill my voice. This was starting to sound a bit sketchy. So what kind of club was it?
つまり、みんなでゲームして遊ぶ部活なのです。
Rika-chan was the only one to answer my question with a pertinent response. Good old Rika. So basically this club put Mion's hobby of collecting games to use. By playing the various games that Mion had hoarded every day, it seems that depending on the day there were prizes for the winner or a penalty for the person who finished in last place.
先に断っとくけど、ままごと遊びみたいなレベルじゃないからね。一生いっぱいに命がかかってるくらい本気でかかった方がいいよ。
楽しくやれればいいじゃないか。そう凄むなよ。
快速第一条、狙うのは1位のみ。遊びだからなんていういい加減なプレーは許さない。
Heck yeah.
快速第2条。そのためにはあらゆる努力をすることが義務付けられておりますのよ。
The way Satoko said it sounded like he was saying use any means necessary, even murder.
もちろん僕も頑張りますです。レナも弱いけどね、精一杯頑張ってるの。
I knew what they were trying to say. In a game where everyone is aiming for the top, it's rather unsportsmanlike to play just for fun.
よし、俺も本気でやってやるぜ。
With that, I was finally ready for the rite of initiation, my baptism into the club.
ケイちゃんに一応忠告ね。レナも結構えげつないから。
Foreshadowing. This initiation looks like it's going to be rough. Mion began fishing around in the student lockers in the back of the room. They have the games here at the school? Well, it's a club equipment, so I guess that's fine.
難しいゲームはケイちゃんだけに不利だからね。
Yeah, because Keiichi's pretty dumb.
今日は誰にでもわかるゲームですよ。スタンダードにトランプのジジ抜きはどう？
I just love this. He's like, we could probably play an easy game because, like, you know Keiichi. He's pretty stupid. Let's play a simple card game. Even a stupid person can play a card game. No, I love Keiichi. I'm not. I actually don't think Keiichi is stupid. I just think he's funny.
やっぱり罰ゲームがないと燃えないよね。今回は
He's a little dumb.
顔面落書きの剣。どう？
油性じゃないよね。油性じゃないよね。
Permanent. She wants to draw on our faces with permanent marker.
上等でございますわ。
Satoko cheered the idea on. She didn't even flinch at the thought of such a severe penalty. Seemed like she was raring to go. If it's going to be like this, then I can't lose either.
じゃあカード切ってみんなに配るね。
Keiichi will certainly prove himself to you. Let's go. Old Bachelor is pretty much the same as Old Maid. There's only one difference. There's no Joker. In its place, one card is pulled out at the start, meaning there'll be one card without a match left over at the end. You don't know which card will end up being the Joker. It's a pretty thrilling game.
じゃあ1枚抜くね。
Alright, so hype. I love the game segments. Mion took out one card and left it face down on the table. The music to play during the games is also so peak. This is so iconic. Everybody stared at the card intently.
終盤になればおのずとわかるし、最初はどうしようもないよな。
But the rest of them were very serious. Didn't seem as relaxed as I was. They compared their cards to the one face down, all the while gauging each other's reactions. It was as if they could see what the face down card was. The entire OST is simply fantastic. I know, I love it so much. No, it couldn't be.
このトランプ、結構傷物だろ。まさかみんなにはその傷でそこに伏せたカードがわかってる？
快速第2条ですわ。ケイチさんも勝つために最善の努力をなさいませ。いくつかのカードは特徴的だからケイチさんをすぐ覚えられるよ。
She says that so matter-of-factly.
上等だぜ。この程度でハンデになると思うなよ。
I lashed out angrily. It was rather obvious I was at a disadvantage. After all, they'd gone so far as to memorize the wear and tear for each individual card. This wasn't a simple game of Old Bachelor. If this was a test, then they were playing with the answer sheet in front of them. Brain it. I'll take advantage of your carelessness and beat you at your own game. That baseless confidence would soon be crushed. My gosh, her evil laugh.
右から言うぜ。3、4、9、ジャック、クイーン。
ちなみにジジはダイヤの J なのです。どうカードを入れ替えたって見え見えですわ。上がりですな。
The voice acting is so good, though. I thought I was prepared for it to be this brutal, just overwhelming.
鬼だ。こいつらは鬼だ。レナは鬼じゃないよな。
ごめんねケイチくん。こっちがハートの3だよね。あがり。
Not even a hint of mercy. Rena, even Rika-chan. These club activities weren't to be trifled with. An alumnus of this club would certainly survive in the cruelest of situations. If our entire class had self-detonating collars strapped to their necks, and were dropped into a deathmatch on a deserted island, these guys would probably take it like fish to water. Oh man, is this a Battle Royale reference? Let's go. Oh, now I'm thinking about like how the different higurashi characters would be in Battle Royale. But have any of you seen Battle Royale? That's actually one of my favorite movies of all time. If you haven't seen Battle Royale, I highly recommend it. It's so good. I can already picture their joy as they hunt down each of their classmates. Oh man. So lowest point system. Oh sorry, I don't have to read this part. There's already a 5 marked down on my scoreboard. An alumnus of this club would definitely survive in the cruelest of situations. Haven't played Chapter 1 in years, but it's one line stands out so much to me, I know. Like, the amount of, like, little foreshadowing is so good. A petite hand laid itself on top of my head, just trembling from uncontainable frustration. It was Rika-chan's. Thanks to Rika-chan's words of encouragement, I was able to calm down. You need to be calm, especially when you're cornered. That's the power I could muster during this crisis. Think clearly, Keiichi Maebara. Take your time and look at the cards carefully. It's just as Rena said, several of the cards have their own distinct markings making them stand out. Memorizing them should be pretty simple. Think about what you can do in this situation. Try everything in your power to improve your chances of victory. I covered the uniquely marked cards with my hands or other cards, arranging them in such a way that they couldn't be seen. I couldn't let any of those precious hints slip by me. All information is a weapon. Then it was my turn. Satoko fanned out her cards for me. There was a bit of dismay in her expression. Like she doesn't want it taken. That kind of expression. I won't let that momentary lapse slip by me. Got it. 7 of spades. A cheer of ooh ran out. It wasn't for memorizing the markings. The slight changes in her expressions while selecting a card were enough. She was startled by her own misread. Of course, everyone else was too.
ちゃんがカード間違えるなんて珍しいね。
違う。ケイちゃん、あんた、まさか。
They told them apart by different marks. That mark was a nail scratch. So I put a new one on it.
ダイヤの2を偽装したというですの？味な真似をするでございますわ。ケイチ、一矢報いましたです。
Clap, clap, clap.
やったね、ケイチくん。大前線だよ。
Having defeated the Forerunner, Mion, my brilliant battle left me ecstatic. But by total points, it was already set in stone that Mion would win and I would finish last. I laughed haughtily, selecting the tone of my voice carefully to get on Mion's nerves.
まあビリは確定だけどさ、最後にミオンから1本取れたから大満足かな。
KT proves to be crafty and adaptable. Let's go. Yeah, no, I think KT is actually, like, a really good protagonist character in the early chapters. Like, he could so easily fit the mold of, like, the very generic, boring, personality-less, stupid protagonist guy, but, like, he's actually a really good character. And surprisingly really smart and creative, which I really appreciate. I think KT's really cool. Has to be the proverbial slap in the face to Mion, who was at the top already and ensured victory.
この回、仮にケイちゃんが1着になっても、トータルビリが確定するんだけど、嫌でしょ？
当たり前だ。
一騎打ちしようよ。ワンチャンス。勝てたらケイちゃん1位で私ビリの大逆転。なんてどう？乗るでしょ？
She fell for it. Kingsford upsets it wouldn't be possible without goading her into it.
ワンチャンスだと？ルールを説明しろ。
Mion discarded 2 cards from her hand. Replaced one with the Joker cards that was on the table, and shuffled the resulting hand behind her back.
右手のカードと左手のカード。どっちがジョーカーか当てたら、ケイちゃんの勝ち。
今後ろに回した時ジョーカーを抜いたってことはないだろうな。
ケイちゃんが負けたら反対の手のカードも公開するよ。それなら OK でしょ。
The other 3 gulped nervously at this unexpected turn of events.
よし、乗ってやる。
Mion grasped 1 card in each hand and thrust them out at me. First, I need to inspect them closely. The card on the right had no distinguishing marks. I couldn't tell which one it was.
どっちだろう。ケイチくん、慎重にね。
ああ、もちろんだぜ。逆転の大チャンスだ。
Looking closely at the card on the left, I saw a little wear. It wasn't one I'd seen before.
あのカードは。
I'm curious, why did he call KT dumb? I was just being silly goofy. I don't actually think he's dumb. I was making a joke. No, I think KT is a really smart protagonist, and I like that about him. I think I called him dumb mostly because I feel like a lot of traditional protagonists in this kind of story, whether it's like a harem or even just like a more generic horror game or anime, the protagonist is usually really stupid. But Keiichi's not stupid. He's really smart, and I like that about him. He's a very refreshing character, I think. I didn't let that bit from Satoko slip by me. Mion clucked her tongue. I didn't recognize the mark on the left card from the small numbers I had memorized. Also, I think also I said Keiichi was dumb because of Mion's wording when she was introducing the game. She made a point to be like, oh, let's pick an easy game. Let's not do something too complicated. It's like, yeah, because, you can't do a too complicated game if Keiichi's stupid. But he's not actually stupid. I think Mion was underestimating him a little bit. But he is proving himself to be the kind of person that cannot be underestimated. I didn't know what the left card was, but I could tell from Sasako's reaction that the card had already appeared during the game. Since it had already appeared before, it meant that it definitely wasn't the Joker. I totally agree. I dislike when self-inserts main protagonists are portrayed to be unaware of their surroundings and other characters' feelings. Yeah, same. Yeah, I feel like it's so easy to make the protagonist character both really stupid and also just really, flat, which I understand, I understand that they sometimes want to make the character, easier to insert yourself into, so they give them less personality. So that you can, insert your own personality, but I feel like that doesn't actually work very well. And instead it makes them a really boring, uninteresting character. But I think what makes Keiichi so great, and I think all of the characters in Higurashi so great, honestly, is that any of them could very easily be someone's favorite character, and there's no oh, that's your favorite character? That's so boring. All the characters are compelling and interesting enough. Any of them could be someone's favorite character, and people would be like, yeah, they are a good character, you have a good choice. Someone could say Keiichi is their favorite Higurashi character, and that would be a totally valid, good opinion, Because Keiichi's a great character. Whereas if he was a more generic, boring character, it'd be like, really? Keiichi's your favorite? Why do you like him? Everyone in Higurashi is so compelling. And well written. I think it's very much a subversion of a lot of tropes, too. It's Keiichi even just looks like a very typical protagonist guy. He has brown hair. He's the one guy around a bunch of cute girls, so so easily he could have been a very flat, boring character. But he's not. He's great. Personally, I could relate more. The main characters have distinct personalities and aren't blank slates. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I really agree with that. Boring but nice personalities are overrated. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm obsessed with Corpse Party. I love Corpse Party. I had a lot of fun playing it, and I find the story so cool, but the characters aren't the best. I love it, but the characters are not the best. They could have been written a little bit better, I think. But Higurashi, the characters are, the main appeal, I think, honestly. Higurashi wouldn't be as iconic and beloved as it is if not for how really well-written the characters are. The left card definitely wasn't the Joker. If I could trust that theory, then I should have been able to declare that card to the right was the Joker. Even without Mion's taunting, the one on the right was most suspicious. But wasn't it a bit too rash to decide based solely on Satoko's reaction? More carefully. Ah. I remember now. That mark. The left card. No doubt about it. A 7 of clubs. I've won. The card on the left was 7 of clubs. I've been gifted Corpse Party, haven't played it though since I don't play horror games often. And Higurashi is the first horror game I played on my own, volition and finished. Corpse Party's a lot of fun. Like, it's not, like, the best writing-wise, but I still think it's really fun. I will warn, if you do want to play it by yourself, like... I struggled a lot playing it. I needed to have a walkthrough open for most of my time playing it, because a lot of the, like, things that you have to do are so oddly specific that it's kind of hard to get through a chapter completely on your own. Especially in the last couple chapters, they're really hard to, like, figure out what you're supposed to do. But it is fun. If you're okay with, like, graphic descriptions of gore. It's definitely very violent. Not, like, on-screen gore. Like, there's not, like, gory imagery. But very vivid descriptions. So if you can handle that, it's fine. It's really fun. And I actually do really like the story. Even though I can kind of make fun of some of the characters. It's still good. I still like it. But Higurashi is better. But, like, I feel like they're too different to really compare. But I do recommend Corpse Party if you can handle that kind of thing. Also, hello, welcome to the stream, welcome. Oh, that meant the card on the right was the Joker. Oh man. Oh heck. And then just before my hand touched the right card, I froze. There was a wave of murmurs amongst the onlookers at my sudden halt. Right before I confirmed the right card was the Joker. Hmm.
へえ、ケイちゃんはどうして右がジョーカーじゃないって確信できるの？
Mion let loose an unexpected question. Everyone else was baffled.
右のカードが何かは俺にもわからないさ。だが、左のカードがクローバーの7だってことだけはわかる。
じゃあ、残る右のカードがジョーカーなのじゃありませんこと？必ず左右どっちかがジョーカーという約束でしょ？
ああ。左右のどっちかにジョーカーがあるのは本当だろうな。
圭一は勘がいいです。リカちゃん、それってどういう？
つまりさ、クローバーの7はさっき俺がサトコのスペードの7と合わせて捨てたカードなんだよ。
Oh well. Everyone's attention snapped to the discard pile at the same time. The truth of the matter couldn't be discerned from that sloppy pile.
つまり、ミオンは捨て札を1枚拾って左のカードに重ねている。つまり、
そうか、わかった。左のカードをクローバーの7に見せかけているんだね。
It was the first time since the start of the match that a shadow ran across Mion's expression, and I didn't let that slip by. It was a grand flourish. I declared it loudly.
ジョーカーは左手だ。
Oh man. Well heck. Could it be? It was an intense moment. That 1 second felt like an eternity for everyone there. Breaking that silence, the first one to speak was Mion.
初代部長として私も様々なプレイングを見てきたけど、ケイちゃん、あんたはベストだよ。ベストオブザベストオブザベスト。
Wow. That's probably the greatest compliment Mion could give. Mion accepted her defeat, dropping the cards from both hands. My comeback victory! Rika-chan placed her hand on my head and began petting it, congratulating me on my victory. Rena and Satoko gaped at us as if I'd seen a ghost.
なんだよレナ、別に俺はインチキしてないだろ。正々堂々と。
リカは慰めるときにしか頭を撫でませんの。
Huh? What's the meaning of? At that moment, Rena let out a small shriek.
ケイチ君、こんなことって。
ケイちゃんならさ、
Oh
ここ
no.
まで読んでくれると思ってたよ。
Oh no. Everyone froze. No, it was just me.
賭けだった。ケイちゃんがおてんばさんの早とちりだったなら、負けてたのは私だった。
The answer everyone was certain about. I wish I was as smart as Keiichi. I would have never figured anything out and failed at every club game if I was in his shoes. I would sadly be the dumb protagonist. No, me too. Like, I love in games and anime when, like, the characters are, like, really, really smart and really, like, strategic about when they play games. Because, like, I'm just sitting there, like, I have no idea what's going on. But it looks cool. I could not. I could never. Mion picked up the card from the losing hand.
この負けを誇っていいよ。
He turned it around. That was the card that proclaims the victor of this duel. The card under the 7 of clubs. Unbelievable, it was the 2 of diamonds. It was a setup behind the setup. I just picked the right one without reading so deeply into it.
部長、園崎ミオンの名において。
The characters are as smart as their writers. So true.
前原圭一、あんたの我が部への入部を許可する。
Eebly. As I slumped to my knees, dazed, everyone let out a round of applause for the excellent effort I gave despite my defeat.
これにて決着。
To be fair, it was a pretty epic defeat.
本日の優勝は私、園崎ミオン。栄えあるビリは前原圭一。
Everyone made a commotion, applauding cheerfully. I felt I was bested, but I was so soundly beaten it unexpectedly felt rather refreshing.
みーちゃんが後ろ手で細工したとき、またやるんだって思ってドキドキしちゃった。ケイチさんが正解に触れる直前で止まったときにはかかったって思いましたわ。見事に引っかかってくれましたです。
Huh? Hey, wait. All of them knew from the start and still got so excited so earnestly?
楽しくなるようにみんなで盛り上げましたですよ。
You.
お前らみんな鬼だ。人手だし。
さて、ケイちゃんに罰ゲームだね。
Aw, heck.
部活の初日だし
Penalty time.
ソフトに行こうかね。いきなり登校拒否になられちゃ困るし。
The other 3 members held down my arms and shoulders firmly. Mian approached, licking her lips. Her right hand went to pull something out of her pocket. That's a felt tip marker, and it's a giant permanent one.
さて、行くよ。
They took the cap off the marker and brought it slowly up to my face while I was immobilized.
いややめろ。
I let out my death throes. Let's go. Oh, the original art is so nice. I love that it's like literally just like photographs. But like it's so vibey, it just works so well. As soon as the club activities were finished, Rena flew off. Probably so she could dig out that cute Colonel Sanders that she wasn't able to take home yesterday. So today was just Mion and me walking home together. A rather rare occurrence. Why did the black bar also cover the bottom too? Might be because I sized the window wrong. Let me see. Alright. I have to like adjust the window every time I stream a different game, so I always size it wrong. I adore the photograph backgrounds too. I honestly prefer that over any... Yeah, there's so much charm to it. Especially since, like, you know, it's based on a real place. Like, these are like the locations in Shirakawa Go, right? It's so beautiful. I really want to visit. Like, that's one of my dream trips that I want to take while I'm living in Japan. I want to go to Shirakawa Go and see the real life locations of Higurashi. That would be so awesome. It's like, it's so beautiful there. It looks so much like in the anime and in the game. Also, if I keep it full screen, I don't mind. No, it's okay. I hopefully it looks okay. No, earlier it was completely messed up. Like at the beginning of stream, it was literally like covering the top text. So it should be good now. It should be good now. Let me know if it looks weird, but I think we should be okay now.
宝の山か。捨ててる連中もまさかレナに感謝されてるとは夢にも思わないだろうね。
Mountain of treasure, meaning that dam construction site from before. Oh right, Mion would probably tell me. That murder by dismemberment seemed to have happened there.
あそこさ、ダムの工事現場。なんかあったんだろ？昔。
そりゃあったよ、戦いが。座り込みやったりデモをやったり。
A bit different from what I wanted to hear, but I decided I'd listen just the same.
自分たちの土地がダム湖に沈むんだもんな。俺だって戦うだろうな。
役人どもは本当に一方的だった。偉そうで威張ってた。金で解決できないと悟ると、あらゆる嫌がらせをしてきたんだよ。いやらしい奴らだった。
Mion spoke excitedly as if the whole thing was happening right in front of her.
よく勝てたな。相手は国だろ？
村長や村の有力者たちがね、方々に陳情した。東京にも行ったし、いろんな政治家に根回しもした。そうしてるうちに計画は撤回されたんだよ。私たちの完全勝利だった。
暴力沙汰とかにはならなかったのか？傷害事件とか殺人。
なかった。
She promptly cut me off, the same as Rena had. Her words signaled the end of discussion. Tomitake-san said one arm wasn't found in the incident. I thought that a murder by dismemberment had occurred, but I guess I was wrong. My curiosity unsated, I sighed dejectedly inside.
じゃあね、また明日ね。ケイちゃんそれ、うちに帰るまで消しちゃダメだからね。
わかってるよ、消さねえよ。
Mion held back her laughter while stealing glances at my face. Wonder what kind of nasty doodles they drew. Damn you, Mion, you so rude this day. If our roles are ever reversed, I'm going to go all out. All over your face, you won't be able to take it off, even with a scouring pad. It was our complete victory reminds me of a line from Death Note where it like goes, "What do you think of that, Elves? My complete victory." I need to finish Death Note. Like, it's one of my great regrets is that like many years ago I watched like maybe the first half of Death Note and never continued. And like I really want to go back and finish it. Because I think when I was younger, I think I thought Death Note was kind of boring. Because I was like a teenager when I started, like a younger teen. Probably when I was like 14, 15 is when I watched Death Note for the first time, and I just kind of was not vibing with it. I thought it was boring. But I think now I'd probably appreciate it a lot more. I should go back and watch it again. Upon arriving home, I ran straight into my mom, embarrassing myself yet again. The mood I'd come home to was already on edge. It's not an uncommon thing in our family. Whenever Dad can't come up with a good idea, it always ends up like this. He stomps around the house with his arms crossed. Black bar at the bottom of his back, nice, yippee. Mom whispered into my ear.
おかえり、ケイチ。お父さん大変そうだからそっとしてあげてね。
またアイデアに詰まったわけ？
今回は締め切りが重なったからね。お父さん充電期間がないと大変だから。
Dad's paintings feed our entire family. If he runs out of ideas, then it's the end of the Mayabaras. We've never gone hungry before. Could it be that my dad is a master painter?
家の中をうろうろしないで。
Keiichi's so cute. He's just a silly little guy.
今回は生活空間がテーマだから、お父さんこの家をモチーフにしたいみたい。
That's quite a bothersome motif.
ケイチ、部屋の中を少しは片付けなさい。みっともないぞ。
ごめん。後で片付けるよ。
Aw, come on. Please don't use my room as the motif.
ケイチ、お夕飯までまだ時間があるから、表でも散歩してらっしゃい。
Dad's moods are only temporary. As soon as he gets an idea, his mood improves and he starts humming. Until then, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go take a walk so I don't aggravate him further.
じゃあそうするかな。
I said I was going to take a walk, but I didn't have any particular destination in mind. I just needed to kill some time. I got on my bike and pondered where to go. I could just go read at the bookstore. It's going to take about an hour by bike to get to town. It would be dark by the time I got back, so I didn't want to go unless I had to. The roads at night here in Hinamizawa creep me out. If Mion or Satoko ever found out about that. I smiled wryly. Oh yeah. Rena was probably still at the Mountain of Treasure, the damn construction site. The excavation of Colonel Sanders would probably taken her a while. It wouldn't be so bad to have her owe me one.
次の部活の時に恩返ししてもらえるかもしれないしな。
With a little bit of self-interest in mind, I set off towards the damn construction site. Tomitaki-san might be there as well. The only person with information about the incident that both Rena and Mion denied knowing anything about. If I met him again, I'd like to ask for more details. To ask, was there really a dismemberment here at Hinamizawa? That was my real intention. So beautiful. What the heck? No, it's like really saturated photographs. I love it so much. I spotted Rena struggling up on the slope of the garbage pile. It looked like Colonel Sanders was lost in there pretty firmly. It didn't look like Rena would be able to excavate him by herself. Realizing that Tomitake-san wasn't around, I began climbing down the slope unsteadily.
よーレナ、精が出ますな。
ケイチくん。どうしたのこんなところへ。
A place like this, huh? I see. He was aware of it at least.
事故発生の緊急通報を受け参上しました。負傷者はどこでありますか？
事故って、
健太くん人形がゴミ山に生き埋めになっているとの通報でしたが。
なんだ、びっくりした。ケイチくん脅かさないでよ。
冗談だよ。レナが一人で困ってるだろうなって思ってさ、手伝いに来て。
レナのために。
Well, I filled my quota for today. If I don't see Rena blush at least once a day, I'm not getting my daily required nutritional intake.
冗談だよ。こっちまで恥ずかしくなるだろう。
冗談ってどこからだろう。どこからだろう。
I just ignored her bewilderment.
俺、どいたどいた。で、どこだよ、健太くんは。
あ、ごめん。ほら、この隙間から見える？
こりゃ本当に生き埋めだな。
The Colonel Sanders was sideways, surrounded by boards and other construction materials like they were caging him inside. According to Rena, it wasn't like this yesterday. Seems as though another illegal dumper came yesterday, dumped again. Now he's buried like this.
この山を一人でどけるつもりだったのか？その細い腕で。
There's no way she'd be able to do that with her slender arms.
でも、健太くん人形可愛いんだもん。お店の健太くんには鎖がついてるけど、これならお持ち帰りできる。
Did she attempt to steal the one that was out on display? My gosh, Rena. Rena gave up on his Colonel Sanders. He'd probably start devising a plan to steal the one in front of the store. As Rena's guardian, I won't allow her to sully her hands with crime.
置いてろよ。俺がやる。
Rena blushed again, but this time I left it alone. The pile was enormous. Also, the more days we wasted, more likely another illegal dumping would occur. If it got buried any deeper, there'd be nothing that could be done.
ケイチくん、レナも手伝えるよ。手伝わせて。
帰って邪魔になるから下がってろって。
I know this is random, but do you ever ship Keiichi with anyone? I rarely ship characters, but as I play through the higurashi chapters, I find myself shipping Keiichi with Mion. I mean, kind of. I do think Keiichi and Mion are very cute together. Like, I don't like ship them. Like, I'm not like... I guess I don't consider myself a shipper of them, but like, I do see why people do ship them. They're very cute. Wasn't a ship that I thought about often, but it was a thought that only came about because one of the scene in the later chapters. Yeah, I can totally see why. They're very cute together. Yeah, especially in the later chapters. I'm excited to get to the later chapters, actually. And I can't wait to maybe have my opinions change a little bit about the characters, because I've only really... my first time playing through the whole visual novel. Like, most of my knowledge comes from the anime. So I'm very excited to see if my favorite characters change after I get more in-depth information about them. Because right now, if you ask me who my favorite character was, I think I would say Rika. I love Rika-chan. I love her so much. So I'm excited to see if Rika stays my favorite character. Or if I have a new favorite character by the end. I think when I was younger, actually, I think I shipped Keiichi with, Rena. I was more of a Keiichi and Rena fan. But I don't think I'm as big into shipping nowadays. But I can see Keiichi and Mion being a really cute ship. I think they match each other's energy really well too. Pulling out scraps, bending them, tossing them aside. I quickly became covered in sweat and dust. Flying objects threw beautiful arcs across the twilight sky, one after another. I love the visual novel. I haven't watched the anime though. I mean, for me, I understand why people say the anime is the worst way to experience higurashi. Because they do cut a lot of content in order to make it, you know, anime length. Since the visual novel is so much longer. So I totally understand why people say that the anime is like the worst way to watch and enjoy higurashi, but I still really love it. It's very nostalgic for me. And also, I love the animation. The art style of the anime is so good. The music is, oh my god, so good. Like, I think maybe if you're a fan of the visual novel, if you were to watch the anime, you would be disappointed just because it cuts a lot of content. It's a lot shorter than the visual novel, so maybe you wouldn't like it as much. If you'd feel like it was missing a lot of important details. But as someone who watched it when I was like a kid, I watched it as a teenager for the first time. It has like a lot of nostalgia value for me. It just makes me very happy, but I'm excited to read the whole visual novel so that I can have a better appreciation for the story and the characters. Because I already love the story and the characters because of the anime, but I think the visual novel will make me love it even more. Flying objects through beautiful arcs across the twilight sky, one after another. Lumber, timber, plywood. Damn it. No matter how much I threw out, there was still more. When do I just see Colonel Sanders right there? The grand standing like that in front of Rena, I felt frantic because of how little I had progressed. Rena began sputtering and turned beet red. Sorry, I'm still like eating a little bit. Oh, someone said I was trying my best so as to keep her from becoming a criminal. Oh well. I sprawled on my back over the grassy slope. Rena patted her handkerchief against my forehead. It felt pretty nice. Leaving a handkerchief on my forehead, Rena took off running. The cries of the higurashi gently cooled the air. After I was certain that Rena was gone, I picked myself up and headed towards what I discovered earlier. The garbage pile of magazines and newspapers bound up in twine. Unless I'm mistaken. I believe it was around here. There it was. They were bound stacks of not-so-reputable tabloids. They were stacked chronologically, going back quite a few years. It was quite a disturbing incident. I still haven't found one of the arms. If it was just as Tomitake-san said, then undoubtedly there would be mention of the murder. These are troubled times. There's no end to these sickening incidents. There's a large part of society drawn in by these incidents as well. So it had to be recorded. Somewhere. I unfastened the packages and opened the rain-soaked pages carefully, looking over the table of contents. Not here. Next one. Not here. Next one. It was hard to search since I didn't know when it had happened. I didn't know who the perpetrator or the victim was either. I only knew it had happened here. I looked up every so often, checking to see if Rena had come back or not. I wouldn't want her to see me gawking at a dirty magazine, but it wasn't just that. Both Rena and Mion said they didn't know. But it had happened without a doubt. So long as Tomitake-san wasn't lying. Then if both Rena and Mion... yeah, there it was. They just said that. Yeah, there was. If they just said that, then I wouldn't have gotten so hung up on it. An incident that neither Rena nor Mion wished to talk about. Trying to uncover after they tried to conceal it out of good intentions. That made me feel like it was acting against my friends. Oh man, inverted colors, let's go. Hinamizawa dam worker lynching, murder by dismemberment. Here it is. The featured article was in the back, and it seemed that there was a photograph in the colored pages at the front. The pages of the featured article were stuck together and weren't easy to open. Rena could return at any moment. Feeling rushed, I gave up and opened the photograph page. The police investigators were carrying a body bag, and newspaper reporters were all bathing it in camera flashes. The image was blurry and hard to understand, but I could definitely make out the headlines. A tragic nightmare at the Hinamizawa construction site, lynching and murder dismemberment. The victim was the site foreman, and assaulted his assailants daily with an explosive backlash for its daily actions. It's a horrible image to see the site foreman as... It happened. It really did happen. See, my details were on the next page. I turned the page without pausing. On it was... The assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes, and used an axe to split the cadaver into 6 pieces, the head, arms, legs, and torso. I could understand just from the headline that it was just too terrible an incident. Normally a lynching is just assault and murder, right? Dismemberment with hatchets and pickaxes. That wasn't a lynching. It was a merciless killing to the letter, a brutal murder. Done by a group of people. With hatchets. With pickaxes. With a hatchet.
ごめんなさい。驚いたかな。
Oh my gosh. Rena dropped the hatchet she was holding onto the grass after being startled by my voice.
ケイイチくんね、さっきほら、斧とかがあると便利だって言ったじゃない。それでね、レナ、物置からちゃんとナタ持ってきたんだよ。
Impeccable timing, Rena. Rena fluttered her arms in a panic, continuing to explain and apologize. It seemed I'd been glaring at her pretty intensely.
ごめん。ちょっとオーバーに驚きすぎたかな。
こっちこそごめんね。ごめんね。
Night was drawing close. I was pretty worn out, and it wouldn't hurt to do the rest tomorrow.
最後の針は そのナタじゃないと壊せそうにない。せっかく持ってきてくれたんだし、明日借りるよな。
うん。
何しょんぼりしてるんだよ。明日には健太くんが掘り出せるんだぜ。
そうだよね。早く健太くんをお持ち帰りしたい。
Yeah, please. Both knew it was useless to apologize any more than that. I quenched my thirst with the barley tea Rena brought and wiped off the sweat that had now gone cold. I took the path to head home. I felt quite guilty about the tabloid wrapped up in my jacket. Dun dun dun. Okay, let's go. New tips acquired. October 1975. In accordance with the Prime Minister's Bulletin Number XXX, Hinamizawa's Electrical Development Master Plan was announced. The vast scope of the projected Hinamizawa Dam was to have an incredibly heavy impact on the village of Hinamizawa. The area to be flooded by the Hinamizawa Dam would include the 5 areas of Hinamizawa: Takasudo, Kyotsu, Matsumoto, and Yaguchi. Oh, that's what the original chip interface in Medi looked like. It's red. I know, it looks so cool. The submerged area would include 291 houses. Population 1,251. 1 elementary school, 1 middle school, 1 post office, 1 agricultural cooperative, 1 forestry department lumberyard, 5 shrines, 2 temples, and 1 fishery. I do find the Hinamizawa Dam project so baffling. Like, if it was literally going to be submerging an entire village and, like, destroy all of these temples and schools and stuff, like, why would you want to carry something like this out? Like, what the heck? People live here. All of these communal, cultural, agricultural areas and places of worship were to be indefinitely submerged at the bottom of the artificial lake basin. Like, this is a terrible project. Why? Who pitched this? Who thought this was a good idea? Forsaking the hundreds of years our ancestors poured their blood and sweat into this fertile, resource-rich land was just too painful to bear. All of the residents having homes that were to be submerged banded together, created the onikakushi Guardians. The dam project was halted and petitions to alter the plan were circulated. The citizens sought peaceful negotiations, but the government and its puppet company openly refused. Performing unspeakable, heinous acts, they quashed the democratic actions of the villagers. But the villagers did not falter. Instead, they banded together even more closely and steeled their resolve to protect their homes to the death. The continuation of that frightening Hinamizawa Dam construction project is still stalled as of today. The villagers understand that the stalling was caused by sublime power through unity. They understand that this fearsome plan has not yet been fully withdrawn. The Onikakushi Guardians have been dissolved after it did its part, but the feelings of unity it garnered have not yet been extinguished. As long as that pastor resides in the hearts of the residents, they'll be able to confront whoever next decides to sink their home into a lake basin. Onikakushi Guardians Committee Chairman Kichiro Kimiyoshi. Now, I love the tips menu music. It's so good. Like, it's so vibey. Like, all the music in this game is so good. What the heck? I love how, like, nostalgic it sounds. Like, I love anything that sounds nostalgic, even though I don't actually have nostalgia for it. It feels like I'm supposed to be nostalgic for it. It has that, like, good vibes kind of sound, you know? Alright, let's go to the special tabloid. Nightmare befalls the Hinamizawa Dam. Mention a murder dismemberment. On X day of X month, an XX prefecture at the Hinamizawa Dam construction worksite in Shizubone City. A bone-chillingly gruesome murder dismemberment. The North's case had shocked the archipelago. The police will give no details on the case. Exactly what happened at the Hinamizawa Dam? They probably didn't mean to kill him at first. But as the victim resisted by swinging around a shovel, the rest of the perpetrators armed themselves in return. And it quickly escalated to homicide. Even the original has different chip music. Watching your stream is giving me a totally different view of Higurashi. Number 3 was the modern sprites. Yeah. No, yeah, I was able to go in with the 07th mod. It gives you the option to change the sprites, the backgrounds, the music, so I wanted to make sure it was all of the older stuff, all the original stuff. But yeah, I personally think this is such a perfect way to experience the game. Like, I don't like the console sprites. I think they just look so lifeless. So I knew I had to go back and change to the originals. And if I'm already gonna have the original sprites, why not go all out and have the original everything? So, yeah. That's the kind of person I am. Like, I like to have the most authentic experience as possible. So, yeah. Trying to make it as vibey as we can get. So said the aforementioned Investigator A. After its bloody tragedy was over, they were left with a body which nobody could have mistaken as alive. XX-san had tormented the suspects daily with his rough behavior. That's a cool way to play it, I know. First it was meant to be payback. All the perpetrators were horrified by their deed. One even turned himself into the police. The de facto leader of this group, XX, who had suggested hiding the body. Reluctantly at first, they soon began to think they did not wish to be caught. The construction site had numerous places to hide the body with 6 people. They were originally supposed to hide the body and leave the area. But the de facto leader feared the consciousness of the other 5 wouldn't be able to bear the burden, and came up with a horrifying method to keep them from turning him into the police. He devised a heinous method of splitting up the body among them, making each of them responsible for hiding a piece. XX had turned a simple manslaughter into a gruesome dismemberment, forcibly involved each perpetrator in order to create a sense of unity between them. Each one participated. But what does this mean? Person A spoke out reluctantly. He had ordered each and every one of them to dissect a piece for themselves. They were hesitant at first, but nobody refused. In for a penny, in for a pound was what it meant. Thus an unimaginable bloody ceremony began. The perpetrators wept and vomited as they performed the gruesome task. There was one person who stubbornly refused, but he threatened them, saying nothing would change if someone else ended up dead. He gave up in his objections. But his plan collapsed in the span of one night. XXX, who had refused to dissect a corpse up until the last moment, had broken down into tears at the hospital where he was being treated for injuries sustained during the scuffle and confessed. The criminals were arrested one after the other. The de facto leader's whereabouts are still unknown. Also, the right arm hidden by him is yet to be found. Despite an ongoing search, this horrible individual has so far managed to elude law enforcement. What could the police be doing? It appears that he said he was going to throw the body into the swamp. His car was discovered abandoned near the swamp, but there were no clues to his whereabouts. He didn't trust his companions. One could not deny the possibility that he had expected his companions to confess to the police, and used his car as a decoy. Of course, I doubt that theory. Since he has no car, one would expect him to have a limited area to which he could have escaped to. But within the station there were rumors going around that he accidentally slipped and drowned in the swamp when he went to throw away the body. To the locals, that swamp is believed to be bottomless. It's known as onikakushi, the demon's abyss. It says that the bottom of the swamp is connected to the hellish world of demons. The atrocious demon from hell, as it was, XX. Could it be that he had returned to hell through the swamp? The Jinn Dragon, bringer of luck and fortune. Prosperous future. Ladies leaping into your arms. Business success. Promotions. Ambition. Protection from harm. Not just with pachinko and horse races, but business and even love. Guaranteed or your money back. Legion Dragon Bracelet DX, One Piece. 27,800 yen, that's expensive. What the heck? Let's go. We can continue a little bit longer. The function of the school as an educational facility is very questionable. Our PE class is exceptionally disorganized. The only things we do together are the warm-ups at the start. The teacher isn't even there after that. All we do is play together.
仕方ないじゃん。年齢も性別もバラバラだし。
一応ね、体育の時間は校庭で体を動かすのだけが決まりなの。
All the little kids were gallivanting about. While they certainly are being active, they might be getting plenty of exercise, but...
きっと教育委員会はこの学校を見落としてるんだろうな。
お待たせしましたです。さてご一同様、今日の体育は何をいたしましょう。
おっしゃ。これでいつものメンバー全員集合だな。
さて委員長、今日は一体どんな体育をやるのかな？やるのかな？
Me and Humph and crossed their arms haughtily, surveying the area.
瞬発力と持久力。スポーツの世界においては仲間などいない。
Dun dun dun.
すべてがライバル。信じられるのは己の肉体のみ。
なんだそりゃ。漫画の読みすぎだろ。
I clipped without missing a beat.
てわけで、温故知新。古いながらもすべての要素を詰め込んだ屋外乱戦の王様、鬼ごっこでいこう。
It's quite the adorable choice to make after playing it up so much.
望むところですわ。ノロマナケイチさんは家の一番に鬼ですの。僕だって負けませんです。レナも頑張るもの。今日は負けないぞ。
なんでお前らそんなにやる気満々なんだよ。
快速第3条。ゲームは絶対に楽しく参加しなければならない。
じゃあこれ部活なのかよ。
Everything is a club activity. Everyone smirked at each other. The fourth rule of this society, everything you do is actually secretly a club activity. They all seem pretty confident. I'm a man. Physically, I should be able to keep up with any girls my own age. Regardless, Mio and Satoko looked like they were aiming for victory, and Rena was looking at me as if pitying my disadvantage.
上等だぜ鬼ごっこ乗ってやら
My yell echoed across the school grounds. These were the rules. Anyone who was able to evade being tagged before the bell was a winner. But we didn't switch who was it. The ones who were tagged by it also became it. So the number of people who were it could increase exponentially. The endgame would become a hellish siege.
ここいらではこの遊びのこと
Heck, it's zombie tag time.
なるほど食われたやつがゾンビ化するからな
なんでそんな怖いこと言うんだろう
レナを捕まえたら生きたままお腹を食い破ってやるからな
やだよケイチくんそんなのや
Rika-chan placed her hand on Rena's head as he panicked.
大丈夫ですケイチに食われる前に僕が優しく食べてあげますです
Eat you up gently, I see. That's very reassuring.
リカそれは全然慰めになってませんわ
Both Mion and I nodded deeply.
最初の鬼ゾンビはどうやって決めるじゃんけんか
一応授業時間だからね問題で決めよう問題を出すから答えられなかったやつがゾンビ
I have no idea which grade level they're coming from.
6は英語で
Huh? I was bewildered by the sudden question. Mion repeated it.
だから答えるの6は英語で
6だ
なら靴下は
ソックスだね
アルファベットの後ろから3つ目
X ですよ
では性別は英語で
もちろんわかりますわそれは
Natsuko cut herself off before finishing the answer. I see, it's quite a lewd question.
さとこは大人だもんね知らないわけはないよね
知ってますもの知ってるもん
じゃあ言ってごらんよあれだよあれは英語で
はあさとこちゃん困ってるか
持ち帰るなよ犯罪だからな
If I didn't nip it in the bud, she really might have tried to take her home. Mion's pursuit was relentless, making Satoko stammer.
さあ言ってごらんよ大声であれは英語で何という
知ってるもんだからザットですよザット
All of us were a bit surprised by Rika-chan's unexpected answer. I see. Well, it certainly is what that means. That could have been awkward. I wonder what I would have done in Satoko's position. I'd probably get ticked off and just blurt out you-know-what at the top of my lungs. I wouldn't want you as an enemy, Mion Sonosaki. Thank goodness you were born a girl. If you were a boy, you'd probably be a perverted asshole.
仕方ありませんわね不肖この北条聡子がゾンビ役を務めさせてもらいますわみんな食い殺してやりますですな
Dun dun dun. Seems like she's raring to go.
100数えればいいんですの
100数えるのはズルするやつがいるからな俺の問題が解けたら追ってよし
Not a math problem.
簡単なのにしてあげてね。
5分の1のケーキと6分の1のケーキと7分の1のケーキを一皿に乗せました。
分母が違いますですの。
Satoko grabbed a stick and a panic and began drawing a cake in fractions onto the
ケー
ground.
キ1個を60秒で食べられるサトコがそれを全部食べるとお皿にはケーキがいくつ残っているでしょう。
As I finished giving the word problem, Mion shouted.
よーいドン。
On Mion's signal, everyone but Satoko scattered.
ケイキくん、それ問題じゃないよね。
Satoko had already lost the moment she started working it out. She's eating it all, so of course there's nothing left on the plate. Everyone danced off in a direction they thought was best. Knowing the lays of lands, they probably headed right to the best spots. It's obvious I was at a disadvantage, as I would be just as confused as Satoko right now. I am so bad at math. At a time like this, it would have been more effective to go along with those trained survival skills. Like Mion, for example. The fact that I didn't realize that at the start of the game probably hurt my chances. Glancing back over at the school grounds, I saw Satoko just rising up to start. She was really mad. Wahahaha. She got tripped up on such a dumb question. I stood at one of the corners of the school. I had clear sight lines in two directions and would probably have a good response time if any zombies started closing in. For the time being, I caught my breath and focused on what I was trained to think during club activities yesterday. Now think calmly, KT Mayabara. If I was it, what would I do? Increasing my numbers would be a shortcut to victory. Then going after the weakest player first is the obvious plan of attack. Meeting me.
さて、ケイキさんはどこでございましょう。
Oh man.
逃がしませんことよ。
But of course, what would be the best method to track me down? Footprints or smell, or maybe some type of trail. If I could craftily hide my tracks, there would be no trail for Satoko to follow. But I was no detective. Would I even be able to do that kind of thing in an amateur game like this?
見た？岡村。ケイキさんを見かけなかったでございませんこと？
What the heck? Do zombies hunt their prey by asking nicely where they went? Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun pointed to the location where I was hiding. After confirming she was headed in this direction, I abandoned my position. It wasn't easy to hide myself with all those little kids running around as they pleased. It was becoming even more obvious that I was at a disadvantage from not being familiar with these surroundings. If that's how it was going to be, to confront this intelligence-gathering zombie, I just counter it in a similar vein. I approached some girls playing with a ball.
スバンが伝言を頼まれてくれ。北条聡子にご両親が校門に来てるぞってな。
Uh-oh.
伝言いいよいいよ。
Satoko's parents are at the gate? What the heck? I stopped the girls as they turned to run off.
まだ行くな。あと園崎美音にもだ。先生が校門のところで呼んでるぞって伝えてくれ。
Wahahaha, I'm quite a schemer if I do say so myself. If things went well, Satoko and Mion would run into each other at the gate. It would put me at a disadvantage if more people were it. But this was Mion we're talking about. She'd figure out a way to escape. But that was just fine. As long as it bought me more time. Mwahaha, dance for me, Mion and Satoko. In the palm of my hand. I made my fill of playing the con man. I looked for a place to hide. If you think about it logically, I only bought myself a scant amount of time. And it might even come back to bite me. Once it became apparent I started spreading false information through messengers, I could end up being the recipient of one of those messages. Satsuko would probably ask the messengers to help her look for me. That would mean there'd be more zombies and participants in the game. The virus that was brought about by my mischief could cause an epidemic. All my classmates would transform into zombies. They would only be searching for me. His tactic might backfire horribly. While trembling at the thought of the impending dawn of the dead, I began searching for a safe house. I found a shed by the incinerator behind the school. After climbing up to the roof, I held my breath. It wasn't a bad place to hold out. Not only did I have a good line of sight, but if necessary, I could jump off in 3 different directions to escape. It was getting rowdy down there. The lower grades were running around below the shed.
いないね、前原さん。そっちいた？いない。圭一さんどこだろう？お父さんが拷問に来てるのにね。
Oh man. That was definitely a lie. The word gate, the same one I'd used, gave a hint of revenge. So Mion was behind this. I was still keeping one step ahead of the game. I felt bad for my underclassmen, but they had to search until the school bell. Oh no.
前原さんに伝言だよ。家が火事だから急いで校門に来いって。前原さん家にジャンボ機が墜落したらしいよ。警察が事情聴取に来てるって言ってた。
Anything goes now.
趣味は抱き枕のコレクションなんだって。夜中のベッドで抱きながら寝てるって本当なの？
Who are they talking about?
ふにふにの柔らかい感触がたまんないって。
No way I would do that.
委員長の写真貼り付けたのもあるらしいよ。
Is this what you're doing, Mion? Calm down, Katie Mayabara. This is Mion's battle tactic to flush me out. Just hold on. My underclassmen thought about it logically. They would know it's all nonsense. But small kids don't think about things logically. To them, all of those things were true, so they all chuckled together while looking for me. I love how Mion, however, is just spreading false rumors just to get back completely at Katie. That is how the game is played. I win, Mion. It's my victory. Ha. Wiping unrelenting tears away, I felt intoxicated by my own victory.
転校生の前原さんって二次元萌えの人なんだって。
The cost of beating Mion had too high a price. Oh, someone passed below. That's Rena and Rika-chan.
リカちゃんはまだ無事かな。なんとか頑張ってますです。みーちゃんも鬼になっちゃったみたいなの。
Mion? It couldn't be. She'd become it because of my little strategy? It's confirmed that Mion was behind this relentless message war. Then this wasn't good.
みーちゃんはなんとか巻いたけど、さとこちゃんは。さとこは土管のところを探してますから、ここはしばらくは安全ですよ。
On hearing that, I breathed a sigh of relief. But Rena was slumped on the ground breathing heavily. Rika-chan had started creeping up to her. Rika-chan doesn't normally make noise when she walks, but it's strange. Couldn't be.
リカちゃん？何か 丈夫ですよ。
I had never seen Rika-chan smile so creepily before.
なんで近寄ってくるのかな、来るのかな。リカちゃんはゾンビじゃないもんね。怖くないです。僕が優しく食べてあげます。
Oh no, she'll eat you gently.
嘘だよね。リカちゃんがそんな。
Rena was pressed against the wall, and Rika-chan lurched forward with both arms out, just like a zombie. Rena quaked with her back pushed up against the wall. It's quite a surreal scene of horror. One of those zombie breakout videos you'd see. At that moment, Rena's eyes met mine. Zombie Rika-chan turned 180 degrees, exorcist style, and glared at me. Oh no. Leon popped out from behind a cinderblock wall around a garbage dump, also seeing where I was. My position was only advantageous when there was one zombie. Being surrounded was not as good. I could tell that Satoko was rushing my way. Seemed that Rika-chan had let Rena escape, and now she was burying her fangs in my direction. The three zombies circled the shed, moaning curses.
お前ら怖い。怖すぎる。
ケイイチさんの腹渡はどんな味がするのかしら。ケイイチさん。ケイイチも僕たちの仲間になってほしいです。
Rena snitching. She really pulled a hide and seek meme. I saw Rena apologizing to me from across the schoolyard. An apology? Sorry. Leaving me for dead? Rena? I leapt off the roof out of fear, slipping as I landed. Satoko and Rika jumped on top of me. After straddling me, they tickled me all over my body. Oh man.
チャイムまであと何分もないね。
のれんレナ。俺を見殺しに。
Feelings of a zombie. I understood how vengeful ghosts with lingering regrets felt. What the heck?
かわいそうです。でもこれでケイイチも仲間ですよ。
Feels like I've been bitten by a vampire was now one of their thralls. It's a strange feeling, being welcomed over to the sides that had pursued me.
ゾンビ鬼。なかなか奥深し。
気取ってる場合じゃありませんわ。レナさんを捕まえるのですな。
校長が廊下を歩いてる。もうすぐチャイムが鳴るよ。
To devour Rena, I, who had been turned into a demon of vengeance, needed to use any means necessary. Except I wasn't just a zombie. I was a master of the night, a vampire. Using the same trick that had tightened the noose around my own neck, I used my classmates to further my evil designs. I gathered up the lower grades from all around the school grounds.
みんな聞いてくれ。レナが大変なんだ。今すぐレナを探し出してくれ。
前原さん家にジャンボ機が落っこちてるより大変なの？
Oh yeah, hat turns with that hat in it. Man whistled nonchalantly, trying to avoid the blame.
ああ、ジャンボ機なんか目じゃないぞ。レナン地に墜落したのはなん小惑星だ。
Oh god.
小惑星ですって？
ああ、宇宙人が作った装置でロシュの限界を解除し、まさか俺もそこまでやるとは思わなかった。
No, that's terrible.
しかも続いて今度は100個も。地球軍の完全な誤算だ。
The lower grades were dumbfounded, their eyes like saucers at the grand turn of events.
地球軍って私たち宇宙人と戦争でもしてるんですか？
What is even happening anymore?
このままでは地球は壊滅だ。しかしレナなら、レナの放つ音速のマッハレなパンチなら小惑星を、そう地球軍のトップエース、それがリュウグウレナなのだ。
Why is this also like subtle foreshadowing? What the heck? The lower grade students all gulped. It seemed that made them fully understand that the fight for Earth was lost without Rena.
さあチレ、同志諸君、レナを探し出すのだ。
My comrades in the lower grades let out an enthusiastic cheer and dashed off in various directions around the school grounds. There was still one person who hadn't gone.
でもたとえレナさんでも月を押し戻すことなんてできるんでしょうか？
心配無用だ。つい先日もレナは地球に激突するはずの水星爆弾を一つ弾き飛ばしている。小惑星の100個や200個くらい。
Of course.
高速のパンチで一撃だ。
Of course, Rena knows all about alien space colonies.
ユーブーさんってすごいんだ。
Satisfied with that, she also rushed off to look for Rena. It does seem like there are some promising up-and-comers among the youngsters.
ケイちゃんの才能をおじさんは改めて知ったよ。
It didn't really feel like she was complimenting me, but whatever.
しかしケイイチさんもやるでございますわね。これは頼もしいですわ。
でもこの人数なら勝てる。これだけいれば勝てるよ。
ケイイチはゾンビに立候補した方が良かったと思いましたね。
Rika-chan's words stun a bit, but I'd let it slide for now. Dun dun dun. Not even Rena will be able to escape the entire class. As a result of everyone's thorough search, Rena was finally cornered in the back of the sports equipment shed.
怖いよみんな。ケイイチくんまで怖いよ。
It probably was scary being chased around by the entire student body. All of the lower grades closed in on Rena, saying she was the only one who could save the world.
みんなが何を言ってるのかわかんないよ。レナはパンチで小学生なんか破壊できないよ。
レナ、さっきはよくも見捨てたな。覚悟はできてるだろうな。
さっきはごめんねケイイチくん。だって仕方なかったんだもん。おとなしく食い尽くされるでございますの。みんなで仲良しですよ。
さあレナ、念仏でも唱えな。
Rena had stumbled onto a mat, trembling, with tears in her eyes. I closed in. So seeing as the situation was a similar, particularly immoral one, made my pulse quicken just a little bit. Tentacle and Rika-chan were both wiggling their fingers. They probably wanted to tickle Rena. Rena, wanting no part of what she knew was about to happen, went stiff with fear.
ケイイチくんはみんなみたいなひどいことしないよね。しないよね。
YouTube recommended me this. Hi, welcome to stream. Welcome. Welcome.
どうかな。さあ、覚悟は決まったかな。
The voice acting is so funny.
いいよ。ケイイチくんなら。
The face she made as she resigned herself to her fate made my heart skip a beat.
ケイイチくんはひどいことしないってレナ し。
Body won't move. This had to be some sort of anti-zombie mantra. The second my sense of reason chimed in, the beast inside me died instantly. There was the bell. Game over. Oh my gosh, she won. Let's go. Evil mastermind Rena at work. Let's go. Rena pranced down merrily as if a curse had been broken.
あとわずかのところで日光が差し、悪のゾンビ軍団は廃人と帰したか。
I just love how seriously they take all of their games. It's so fun.
ヒロインが生き残るのは映画のお約束だもんな。
何を気取ってるのですの？ケイチさんがもたもたしてるから。お仕置きしますです。
I was subdued by Satoko and Riga-chan and once again sentenced to death by 100 tickles.
じゃあ生き残ったでしょうはリュウグウレナと園崎ミヨン。イエーイ。
あれ？みーちゃんゾンビじゃなかったの？
ふりしてただけ。敵を騙すには味方からって言うじゃん。
Keiichi, a big softie. Now this is the proper way to show how nice a protagonist is. So true. Keiichi is too kind, sometimes for his own good. You know? He could have so easily won the game, and yet... actually, you know, never mind, he wouldn't have won. It's heckin' Mion. No matter what. I love Mion so much, actually. She's so interesting of a character. He's so tricky. I love how so far both games there was really no possible way for Keiichi to win. Only person capable of outsmarting Keiichi is Mion, truly. They are each other's match. Mion is my fave. She's so great. Like I said, they match each other's energy so well. They are both so good at taking the games they play completely and utterly seriously. And they're so clever in how they construct their plans and stuff.
急いで着替えないとね。
Like, how did she pull that off, though? How did she not get tagged?
次の授業に遅れんなよ。
離せサトコ、リカちゃん。いやー
Having my fill of being terrified to my very core by club activities, I solemnly swore I'd have Mion crying for mercy next time. Let's go. I think we can go a little bit longer before we wrap up. We have time for maybe one more section. We'll see. One, maybe two more. We'll see how I'm feeling after one more section. I'm still trying to be gentle on my voice so that I don't lose it again. I got to go. Good night. Have a good rest of the stream. Good night. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you. Bye bye. After arriving home, I quickly made preparations to head out once again. I had agreed to meet with Rena to dig Colonel Sanders out of the mountain of treasure from before.
母さん、うちに軍手ってあるかな。あとタオル。
表の物置の中になかった？タオルは洗面所ね。
Alright, now I was all ready. Looking at me, my mom stared quizzically.
何ケイチ、すごいいでたちでどこへお出かけ？
If they come to dump again illegally, he'll be buried completely and it'll be impossible to dig him out. If that happens, Fred will undoubtedly go after the Colonel Sanders in front of the fried chicken place in
ちょっ
town.
と発掘にクラスメートを犯罪者にしないために
はあ、あまり遅くならないようにね。
I love that his mom just accepts that explanation. Mom returned to the kitchen with a puzzled expression still on her face. Cutting through the woods as a shortcut to the dam site, I ran into someone. It was Tomitaki-san. Oh my gosh, it's him again. His sprite's so goofy. Probably taking pictures of wild birds again with that precious camera of his. It couldn't be that all he took pictures of was handsome young men in the twilight.
久しぶり。ケイチ君だったよね。
どうもその説は。
I expelled the rude imagery from my head and greeted him without inciting anything.
そういえば、彼女は君の知り合いだよね。
He's probably talking about Rena. Guessing by the way Tomitaki-san was shaken up.
あれは一体何だったんだい？彼女が無気味のナタを持って歩いてるんだよ。それもニヤニヤと笑いながら。
That was Rena without a doubt. I thought she was greeting in anticipation of taking Colonel Sanders home.
身に危険を察して隠れたけど、警察に電話した方がいいんじゃないかな。
Well, it certainly would be quite a spectacle for a girl of her age to be roaming around with a hatchet. Tomitaki-san's reaction was the epitome of logical.
いいんですいいんです。ほっといてください。また犠牲者を探して徘徊しているだけですから。
Tomitaki-san was alarmed by my crass response. Well, it's probably hard for normal people to understand, Rena. I'll just toss out a bunch of baloney.
富武さんがここで殺されたら、多分犯人はあいつです。せいぜい嗅ぎ回らないようにすることですね。
With a condescending smirk, I started off in the direction of the dam site where Rena was waiting. Before I got too far, Tomitaki-san abruptly called out to me.
ケイチ君、それ、よそ者の僕への警告のつもりかい？
I didn't mean that seriously. I did try to make it obvious, but...
せいぜい気をつけることにするよ。
Leaving only those words behind, Tomitaki-san turned around and left. I didn't really mean to call him an outsider. I wasn't really implying anything when I said that. It only meant to be a joke, but it felt like I said something bad. So beautiful.
待ってたよ。今日も頑張ろう。
I understood what Tomitaki-san was trying to say. Somebody gallivanting about while waving a hatchet around certainly would seem dangerous.
ナタは鞘とかをかぶせて持ってこい。無気味はさすがにまずいだろう。
なくしちゃったみたいで、ないんだもん。
Thinking about it, there really was no need to try and keep up appearances. Everyone in Hinamizawa probably already knew about Rena's eccentricities. She's probably the only one who could carry a hatchet around Hinamizawa and not be considered suspicious.
まあいっか。今日で決めるぜ。最後の針をぶっ壊せば引きずり出せるはずさ。準備万端。任せとけ。
I took the axe from Rena and made my way up to the unstable slope.
待っててね、健太くん。今、ケイチくんが助け出してくれるからね。
Yippee, let's go.
一気に蹴りをつけてやるぜ。
A solid thwack ran throughout Hinamizawa, as if the job was being done by a lumberjack. Why can't I read? As if the job was being done by a lumberjack.
どう？うまくいきそう？無理そうだったら無理しなくていいよ。
ここさえ折れればあとはなんとかなる。今日は気力も充実。いける。
But his adversary was more formidable than I expected. First of all, I never used a hatchet before. During a school camping trip, I had wanted to split the wood, but I lost at rock, paper, scissors and wasn't able to do it. As the spot where I was standing was so unstable, I soon became tired and decided to take a break. Rena had already spread out a tarp and laid down some tea and sweets.
大丈夫。もう一息。今夜レナが寝るときには健太君にお休みのキスができるようになってるさ。
ありがとう。健太くん、おやすみのキス。
Rena would love that one joke visual novel. The I love you, Colonel Sanders, like that's so Rena coded.
そういえばレナも転校生だったんだろ。前はどこに住んでたんだよ。
I asked her nonchalantly while drinking tea. I had thought she'd lived here all her life.
関東の方だよ。ここほどじゃないけど、やっぱり田舎だったかな。
なんで引っ越してきたんだよ。ひなみ沢に。ほら、ここって結構田舎だろ。
ケイチ君はなんで引っ越してきたの？お父さんの仕事と関係あるのかな？
うちの親父がアトリエを移したいって言い出したんだよ。こういう山奥がいいって前々から言っててさ。
アトリエ？ケイチ君のお父さんって芸術家さんなの？
風景画ばっかり描いてる。年に2回くらいはどっかで個展を開いてるらしい。
When he started, works were displayed in Industry Plaza in Tokyo, but now they're exhibited in Namakahuri Messi. He determined to have them displayed in a waterfront international exhibition hall. Wow, that's impressive.
それってすごいね。今度レナにも見せてね。
I was too embarrassed to tell her that I didn't really know what kind of pictures my father painted. Well, eventually I would. I picked myself up while giving some vague answers.
でも、楽器途中の転校だったんでしょ？大変じゃなかった？
別に。都会ってのには飽きてたし。
I was trying to get answers from Rena, but I ended up being the one giving out all the answers. With a bit of a wry smile on my face, I grabbed the handle of the hatchet and headed back to the worksite. The air grew colder as the sun slowly set. The higurashi began their song as if to tell me to stop and head home for the day. Just a bit more. Just a bit more. Today would end it. When I first started, I chatted with Rena as I worked. No, I didn't have that luxury.
ほら、てめえ、ちくしょう。
I had swung the hatchet countless times today just like this. Contact. Shards of wood splintered. The assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes. I recalled that passage from the tabloid. One hit with something like this would smash someone's head in. Axes and pickaxes are not meant to be swung at people, ever. With one last swing, the beam cracked apart. The weight I put behind the hatchet not only split through the beam, but smashed the statue's shoulder as well. No, not Colonel Sanders. Not Kenta-kun. The arm came off with a sickening sound. No. It clattered down noisily, stopping at my feet.
どうしたの？大丈夫？ケ したの？
ごめん、人形の腕壊しちゃったよ。
なんだ、ケイイチくんが怪我をしたんじゃないかって思っちゃった。
I probably had a really guilty look on my face. Rena says that without a hint of dismay as she smiled.
ガムテープとかでくっつけて、その上に上着を着せるもの。絶対わからないよ。
そっか。じゃあ引っ張り出そうぜ。そっち持ってくれるか？
I still haven't found one of the arms. I laughed dryly at how pathetic I was for considering the arm flopping down and rolling to my feet to be such a bad omen. Both Rena and Mia knew how sickening that incident was, so they pretended they didn't know. I looked it up all by myself, and shamefully enough, I was scared.
情けないぜ、前原圭一。よっしゃ、レナ、一気に行くぞ。せーの。
やったよ、ケイイチくん。わーい。
Yeah, boy! The right time to give 3 cheers. Rena is absolutely the kind of person who would say yippee. Say so yippee coded. That moment of 2 days of work bearing fruit. He was brought to Hinamizawa covered in filth to meet his end. Instead, we were able to welcome him back. You're pretty lucky, Colonel Sanders. Your new master is a pretty decent person.
わー、ケンタくんだ。やっぱかわいいよ。
It didn't matter that he was dirty. Rena nuzzled him cheerfully with her cheek. I was dead tired, but seeing Rena's happy face made it all worth it.
じゃあ手伝うから持っていこうぜ。
そうだね。ケイイチくん、本当にありがとうね。この恩は忘れないね。
恩返しは何がいいかよく考えておくよ。
どんな恩返しだろう。恩返しだろう。
For now, I just hold back my evil cackle. We were ready to take it to her house, but we couldn't go like this. We rolled a statue up the tarp and lifted him. And so Jack and Jill went down the hill, carrying a human-sized bag and an unfazed hatchet. I prayed we wouldn't run into Tomitake-san. He saw us here, took a picture, only to get rid of him. Lol. Is that meant to be a warning for an outsider like me? Something struck me as odd about the words Tomitake-san. Unable to grasp my sense of humor had left behind. New tip unlocked. What kind of name is Rena? Oh man. Let's view our new chip.
レナがいないです。ケイイチは知りませんですか？
あれ、たった今までそこにいたのにな。おいミオ、レナはどこ行ったんだ？
レナ？お手洗いじゃない？覗きたいなら止めないけど通報するからね。
I hadn't heard anything about that.
さとこ、レナを知りませんですか？レナさんですの？さっき廊下ですれ違いましたよ。レナさんは日直だから花壇にお水をやらないといけませんので。
ああ、レナが日直か。そりゃお疲れ様なことで。
Rena, Rena, Rena. Upon hearing it repeated, a thought came to mind. It's rude to say this about someone's name, but it was a weird name. It's like some foreigner's
レ
name.
ナってどういう名前なんだろうな。レナって漢字だとどうなるんだ？
レナはあだ名なのです。ちゃんとした名前がありますですよ。
え、そうなのか？俺はてっきり竜宮レナってのが本名だと思ってたよ。
まあ確かにレナさんとしか呼んでませんから間違えるのも無理はないですわね。
She even signed her name as Rena. Like it's her real name in school.
本当の名前はなんて言うんだろうな。レナが戻ってきたら聞いてみるかな。
Satoko and Rika-chan looked at each other.
聞かなくてもいいですよ。僕たちが教えてあげますです。お礼の礼に奈良の名、竜宮レイナが本名ですのよ。
レイナか。それでレイナじゃなくてレナって読むのか。面白い読み方だよな。
いいえ、違いますです。レイナで正しいのです。レナさんが言ったのですわ。レナと呼んでほしいって。だからレナさんなのですわ。
ケイちゃん、レナはレナだよ。レーナって呼ぶのは他人だけ。そこんとこ分かってるよね。
I understood what Mion was saying. Didn't matter what her real name was, only what names they used between us. Rena Ryugu is Rena. She's nobody other than that.
思ったんだけどさ、自己申請すれば俺も今日からあだ名で呼ばれるのか。
面白けりゃね。なんて呼ばれたいわけ？
越後屋。
Rena then came back into the classroom. One of the juniors near the door told Rena people were looking for her.
あれあれ、誰かレナのことを探してたかな
Seeing that, both Mion and I sneered.
お代官様、竜宮めがまんまと現れましたぞ。
いちごや、主も悪よな。
何かなケイチ君とみーちゃんが悪代官だよ。いちご屋だよ。
おのれ竜宮レナの助、ここであったが100年目でおじゃる。いざ覚悟。
スケさん、カクさん、こらしめてやりなさい。あやいさですわ。報酬はスイス銀行に入れてほしいのです。
If it's come to this, we have no choice. Let's have a grand battle with 5 people. Rena's fierce punches exploded just as soon as he had shown her seal. The evil that was Mion and myself was vanquished into the end. Vanquished in the
ぜ
end.
ひ世直しの旅に出てもらいたいもんだ。永田町なんかどうだ。
ダメだよ。旅先で可愛いもの任すから。
The toll of the bell signals that break time was over.
ほらほら、ケイチ君もみーちゃんも先生来るよ。
I took Rena's hand and stood up. It was just as the teacher had entered the classroom. Just 1 more hour. Man, oh man. Ought to buckle down for 1 more. I think we can do 1 more section before we wrap up.
どうだったケイちゃん。
レナさんの家に行ったでございますか？すごかったでしょ。そんなことないよね。ね。
Unlike my house, the Ryugu residence wasn't newly constructed. It had been renovated from a pre-existing building. Well, the house itself was fine. The problem was the yard. Ouch, I just slammed my elbow against the shelf. The problem was the yard. There it was crammed with rows upon rows of oddities. They were all the same as Colonel Sanders, stuff you'd see while walking around town. The cake shop's mascot, Lilicky. The Totemon in front of the pharmacy. They even had the amazing flying elephant from the top of the department store.
そこまでは100歩譲って可愛いことにしてもいい。だがあの郵便ポストは変だ。 ああいうのってまずいんじゃないのか？
だって可愛いんだもん。
The very cute mailbox, of course. She must have just thought about it because her face filled with delight.
出かけりゃいいのか？出かけりゃ。
で、お部屋には小さいものがごっちゃりと陳列してありますの。前に拝見したことがあるでございますわ。
で、リカちゃんみたいな可愛い子は地下室にしまうのか？
うんうん。なんでしまっちゃうの？はあ、
Well, she just agrees. So she just takes anything she likes back to her nest.
なあ、レナ。ニューヨークに自由の女神ってあるだろ？あれ、可愛いか？
可愛いよ。はあ、欲しいよ。
Imagine Rena stealing the entire Statue of Liberty. She must have probably come up with some countermeasures ASAP. If not, the Statue of Liberty really will take a trip to Hinamizawa in the not-so-distant future.
お待たせしましたです。
Mika-chan had returned.
職員室に呼ばれるなんて面白くないよな。なんかやったのか？
失礼な。リカはケイイチさんのような不良とは違うでございます。違うよ、ケイイチくん。リカちゃんはお祭りの実行委員さんなの。
Oh my gosh. The festival. Let's go.
祭り？学校の文化祭かなんかの？
ケイちゃん、この前言ったじゃん。村祭りだよ。綿流しのお祭り。
It's almost Watanagashi time. Let's go. Oh, come to think of it, she did say there'd be a festival at the shrine during the next break.
その綿流しって何なんだ？灯籠流しみたいなもんか？
最後に沢に流すってとこだけは同じかな。
傷んで使えなくなったお布団とかと寺とかにね、ご苦労様って感謝して供養しながら沢に流すお祭りなの。
The people living in Hinamizawa dumped their futons and padded cloaks in a stream? Felt like it'd be a lot of trouble if it backed up the current. Maybe think that this drop some fish in and have a fish wrangling competition. Skewer them and sprinkle a little salt. Oh man, I could smell it already.
それじゃあサマーキャンプですわ。ケイイチさんって意外に想像力貧困でございますのね。
なんで俺がくだらん想像をしたことが分かった？
表情に出てましたです。
What sort of face could have expressed what I'd imagined just now? Rena demonstrated it for me. I see no argument there.
まあそんなに面白いものじゃないけどさ、楽しみにしてりゃいいじゃん。
みんなで行こう。当日は迎えに行くからね。
I don't really feel like going to festivals unless someone asks me to. I wouldn't get bored if these guys were going.
退屈どころか今年もやるぜ。
The aunt's proclamation came as soon as she looked at each member in turn. What was this all about? From the way Mion looked, it was
私
probably...
の夏の風物詩、綿流し祭4強爆投。
センスねえ。なんだよそのネーミングは。
レナは可愛い名前だと思うけどな。
I tried to object sharply, but since Freda looked happy about it, I decided it was pointless to fight it.
ケイイチもいますから、今年は5強爆投になりますです。
Let's go. It's time for the 5 demons. Rika-chan made a small correction in light of my presence.
で、この仰々しいネーミングの部活動とお祭りがどう結びつくんだ？
い 日頃部活動で培った実力をご披露するのでございますわ。
その通り。日々の厳しい試練を乗り越えた精鋭中の最精鋭たる我々の実力を。
でも去年は村長さんに怒られたし
What did you do last year?
今年は迷惑をかけないようにしないとね。つまり露店巡りをしながら部活動をするわけです。
Rika-chan is really the only one who explains things so they make sense. I see, so they exhibited on those busy festival grounds. Rena was right. Of course that would be a reason for the mayor to get angry.
でも楽しいんだよ。
That was the only point I did not doubt. It would be, without question, fun. The day of the festival was drawing near.
じゃ、それはそれとして、今日も始めようかね、部活動。
なーし。
Our voices rang out in unison.
やっぱり人数が多いときはトランプが一番の王道だよね。まさにこれぞテーブルゲームのベーシック。
また乾杯トランプか。
今日は新品。傷はないから本当に条件は互角。
本当でございましょうね。そのカード改めさせてもらいますわ。
Well, that was fair. Just to be safe, everyone checked the cards.
これなら大丈夫だよ。
みんな納得した？じゃあ今日はね、大貧民にしようか。5人って人数もいい感じでしょ。
Another standard card game. First one to get rid of all other cards wins. The basic rules: play a better card than the one before. You can play straights and pairs. There are various techniques to improve the game, like reversals. Because it's such a well-known game, there are lots of house rules for it as well. The name, for example. In my hometown, we called it Millionaire.
一応細部を確認しとくぜ。ジョーカーはオールマイティか。3は3枚でも革命可能か。
ジョーカーはなし。2が最強。革命返しはあり。3でも4枚なきゃ革命不可。
あとね、ゲーム開始時に貧民がいいカードを上納するってルールがあるでしょ。あれはなしなの。
None of that. Love that I never understand the rules of their games. It's like, okay, cool. They're gonna play cards in some fashion. I would be so bad. I wouldn't be able to join their club. I'm too dumb to join their club. I was confirming the familiar rules. Satoko looked over at me cautiously. I probably should have tried to look like more of an amateur. I was pretty used to this game. It's President, and it's with a new deck. Today I might be able to win. And a gist of the rules now. But that wasn't everything, was it?
今日の罰ゲームは何でございますの？
それなんだけどさ、みんなで何枚かメモに書いて敗者に引かせるってのはどうかな。
Oh, that seemed like it could be interesting.
ではどぎついのを書いてケイチさんに引かせてやりますわ。あんまりひどいのを書くと自分で引いたとき大変だよ。
負けなきゃいいってんだろ。
わかってるじゃありませんの。
Mion handed out several slips of paper to everybody.
じゃあ適当に書いてこのカバンの中に入れて。負けた人はこの中に手を突っ込んで1枚引くってことで。
Now then, what would be a good penalty? Worst case scenario, you draw what you wrote. Something too intense to be like digging your own grave.
何もなしって書くのは禁じ手にしましょうです。
Rika-chan's casual suggestion caused Mion's hand to lurch to a sudden halt.
ミオンさん卑怯ですわ。何もなしって書いてカードを折ってあるんですの。
I see. Just in case you lost the scrap that it was the folded corner and you'd be safe. That was a good idea. Diabolical as ever, Mion. Rika-chan is quite formidable too, being able to see through that. I couldn't underestimate her even though she doesn't stand out.
みんな、あんまり意地悪な罰ゲームはやめようね。
Nobody agreed to Rena's proposal. Everyone was ruthless.
大丈夫だよレナ。負けなきゃいいんだからな。
Yeah, just don't lose, duh.
そうだね。よし、頑張ってレナの罰ゲームをレナに聞かせるぞ。
Rena was quite brutal, even though she usually appeared meek. But do not underestimate her either.
同感ですわ。特にレナの罰ゲームってのがとっても気になるでございます。誰の罰ゲームでも怖いです。
I still didn't know what Rika-chan's penalties would be like.
つまりこのゲームには負けられないってわけ。ご一同覚悟はいいね。
Mion nodded determinedly. Having confirmed that, Mion dealt out the cards. Finally, the battle begins. I had a decent starting hand. Card after card is played in the middle. Not needing Mion to tell them, both Rika-chan and Satoko played their cards without hesitation. Rena and I were the only ones who paused to think. Seemed that Rena genuinely couldn't make up her mind, but I was different. I was like a shark stalking its prey, just waiting for the right time to strike.
これ通るのかよ。じゃあ3出して上がりだぜ。
9いないですの。8、7上がりでございます。
Yeah, boy.
5と5上がりますです。じゃあ最後の1枚を捨てて上がりね。 したか。
Oh no, not Mion. The loser of the first round was, of all people, Mion. And now I was certain. Today I could win.
じゃあみーちゃんこの中から1枚引いてね。
Mion, accepting her defeat, scrounged around inside the bag and pulled out one piece of paper.
誰これ。書いたやつ誰。
Mion quivered and shrieked.
どんなの？
Yeah? Rena was also surprised when she peeked at it. A kind of terrible thing was written on it. Pet the principal on the head.
ちょっと待て。これがどうやばいんだ。
圭一さんは気づきませんの？校長先生は頭髪が薄いことを恥ずかしがってますの。
Satoko yelled with a serious look on her face. She wasn't as loud as Mion's shriek. What could it be?
校長先生は武道の達人なのです。若い頃は世界を修行して回って武術の奥義を極めきったと豪語してますの。戦後の日本の教育の乱れを憂いて教育者に転校したんだって。
He was inhuman. That guy's head?
部長の私が模範を示さないわけにはいかないね。
She bellowed out a yell as she dashed off down the hallway.
静かにこっそり行って穏便に済ます方が有利じゃないのか。
多分無理だよ。だって気配でアメフラシが探せるって言ってたし。
Imagine being able to sense the presence of slugs. That would be so funny. I could do nothing but wait with bated breath. Imagine just being able to sense that a slug was nearby. Kerpow! A rumble shook the classroom.
校長先生、超大い発動です。
Special launcher move. My god. when the launcher's a jab, jab, strong, fierce combo. He's even using meter.
ジークンドーだな。
知らないよ。食らいたくないもん。
Nothing I could do now except stay calm. I understood now why there were no delinquents at the school. There are a few moments of silence and Mian slumped back to us.
撫でた。これでいい。
Mian said before collapsing.
とりあえず生きてますわね。ゲーム続行は可能でございますわ。鬼。
I was amazed that the person who made club activities like these could say that.
でもこれで一番おっかない罰ゲームはなくなったね。
Not likely. Right? Rena tried to lighten the mood, but only met with Mian's malicious grin. She was serious now.
もう手加減しないからね。あんたたちにも思い知らせてやろうじゃん。
The pace of the game became bizarrely quick. You could tell the game had gotten more intense.
S345 あっかり。
これで僕も上がりますです。
へへ、俺も上がらせてもらうぜ。
これで上がりですな。負けちゃったよ。
And the heavens chose to vanquish Rena. Oh no. Not Rena.
どんな罰ゲームだろう。
It wasn't exactly hard for her to be worried. Thinking of the level of difficulty of Mian's first penalty still made me quiver. And so, the penalty she drew with trembling fingers was... The heck with this? Speak like a maid.
なにこれ。これってどうすればいいの？ってことはつまりそういう口調で喋れということではございませんの？
It hit me like a ton of bricks. I had no idea who wrote that penalty, but she was awesome.
じゃあレナ、カードを集めてみんなに配ってくれるかな。
はい、ご主人様。
Oh, I could just die right now.
とにかくゲームを続行しよう。なあレナ。
はい、ご主人様。
The eagerness to which I was goading Rena into addressing me as master was downright impressive, if I do say so myself.
もう負けないよ。上がり。
私も絶対負けられないでございますのよ。上がりましたです。
ならこれで俺も上がりだ。
Oh no.
またレナの負けでございますか？
Rena again. What kind of penalty would it be this time? Delighted by the mysterious sense of anticipation. Anticipation? No, this was conviction. Remove one item of clothing from the top and bottom halves of your body.
それはまずいだろう。誰だよこんなの書いたの。
My face reddened in anger. I didn't yell something out. I wouldn't be able to hide by shaking. Who did write that? God, please give that man a Nobel Prize. My gosh, Keiichi.
スケベ賞ですわね。
Not good, not good. What was I thinking about? What was written on my face? What I was thinking about was written on my face. Why is reading so hard all of a sudden? Am I dying?
みーちゃん。
Rena begged Mion with teary eyes, but everyone knew Mion's answer already.
はいはい、甘えない甘えない。負けたら潔く。
わかりました、ご主人様。何
What? Looked around, thinking someone else would probably stop her. Of course, I wasn't exactly trying to stop her either. But I heard the rustling of clothing, the sound of her skirt hitting the ground sent my heart racing.
これでよろしいでしょうか。
I looked away like a gentleman. These club activities, you need to be ruthless after all.
なんだ
ケイチさん、何を期待してますの？下に体操服着てなかったらさすがに脱げませんわ。
Tachiko poked fun at me, but right now I can't hear it.
ケイちゃんもやるね。こっちの方向で攻めてくるとはおじさん予想もつかなかったわ。
違う、これは俺が書いたんじゃない。
ご主人様が書いたんじゃないんですか？
Her squirming around in her PE clothes made it impossible for me not to feel anything. Calm down, Keiichi Mayabara. Man probably wrote someone a plan to go after me as I panicked. Can't fall for her trap after knowing it's a trap. Clear your head. Calm down and assess the situation. Determined to think my way out of this. The answer was quite simple.
俺は
I then became a god. Plot twist. I, who had already entered the domain of godhood, what would dare stand in my way? Like they were pulled to me magnetically, just picking up aces and twos like nobody's business.
なんでこんなにカード運が悪いんでございますの？
サトコの負けだな。引くぞ。
妹口調で喋る。
はい、お兄ちゃん。
Yes. The pleasure of making this brat disgrace herself.
またおじさんの負けじゃん。
ミオンの負けだな。引くぞ。
女子スクール水着に着替える。
ケイちゃんに引かせたかった。
Yes. Meow's despair was like sweet honey.
ご主人様、また負けちゃいました。
レナの負けだな。引くぞ。
1位に膝枕。
この格好でですか、ご主人様。
Yeah. It's not wearing a skirt with your bare legs. What the heck, Keiichi?
お兄ちゃん、強すぎですの。
サトコの負けだな。引くぞ。
1位にご奉仕。
Wait, how many penalties are in the box? I thought they all put one in.
肩でも揉んでもらおっかな。
はい、お兄ちゃん。
ほら、もっと奥まで。爪立てんじゃねえぞ。
And I transformed to an evil dictator and couldn't be doing any better. I felt like I could control how the cards played out with my mind. Even decide what suits would appear just by willing it. By the time I'd realized it, I'd already assembled a harem. Laughing haughtily as I rested my head on Rena, was now a bloomer-clad maid. Satoko was wearing a collar and had taken out little sister properties. Mion was fanning me while wearing a school swimsuit.
今日はご主人様は圧勝でございますね。あんまり頭をゴロゴロしないでくださいまし。
I began to think. Why does a man have no end to his desires? How could I wish for more than his palace of dreams?
どうしましたですか、ケイチ。
どうして人の欲望には限りがないのか。 憂いていたのさ。
That was it. Rika-chan hadn't been in first, but she continued to escape being in last.
圭一は欲張りさんですよ。樽を知るとも言いますです。
十分理解してるよ。なんて言うのかな。もう死んでもいいって感じ。
ご主人様、あんまりゴロゴロしないで。死んでもいいですね。
Rika suddenly pulls out a gun. Like, okay then.
甘えて差し上げますですよ。
Rika-chan said in her usual calm manner with a cheery tone. This was undoubtedly a declaration of war.
いいぞリカちゃん、やっちゃえ。
このドスケベ大魔王をやっつけるでございます。僕では勝てないかもしれませんですが、やっつけますですよ。
Such stoicism from this little girl who's always hidden away in Satoko's shadow. It'd probably be rude not to meet her head on. I shall face you myself, little one. I saw Mion swap a few cards with Rika-chan in the middle of the game, but pretended I didn't see it. Do you believe you can defeat Keiichi-sama with just that?
2です。エースエースエースです。88888革命しますです。
Everybody looked over at me. I was still brimming with confidence. Mwahahaha. If one of them had allied against me, that's it? You're making me laugh.
ありだったよな。革命返しだ。
そんなバカなことがあるわけ。
Satoko let out a shriek. Mwahaha, you simpletons. Using up all of her cards before calling the reversal left Rika was no good cards. She was defeated soon after.
僕の負けです。
ついに我が軍門に下ったり。さあ一枚引くぞ。おお。
Wear cat ears, a bell collar, and a tail. Mwahahaha. Even the penalties were as I wished. Rika-chan on her head equipped the 3 holy artifacts. It's questionable as to why such things were in Mion's locker, but since I had no objections, I didn't ask. Ugh. This was so... Wah. Like I'd become Rena. This was definitely cute.
かわいいよね。ねえ。お持ち帰り。
This wasn't me talking, this was the actual Rena.
Me.
Oh my gosh, is this the first time Rika says me? Oh man, let's go. We haven't gotten a Nipa yet. But we got me.
リカちゃん、お持ち帰り、お持ち帰り。ちょっとだけだよ。変なことはしないんだよ。しないんだよ。
そうか、その手が残ってたか。
Mion gasped and dropped her fist into her open palm.
レナがどうしてもって言うなら、僕はお持ち帰りされちゃうです。レナさんにケイイチさんが倒せたらですわ。
I thought that Rena in cute mode would be able to defeat me. Would it be that easy? Posing me was the same as opposing God. I'll teach them their place. What the heck?
レナなど返り討ちに。
For a moment, I didn't know what was going on. The 52 cards danced and flowed freely between Rena's hands like the machinations of a master magician. No one can defeat cute mode Rena. In the middle of these flowing cards was Rena's ecstatic expression, her head bobbing around. My whole body knew it already. I was going to lose.
出ないのケイちゃん。ならこれであっかり。
Everyone cheered. I was spent.
悔いはないさ。神様、短い夢をサンキューな。
さあ引くでございますよ。ケイチさんの罰ゲームこれですわ。
Everybody peeked at in unison, gazes flicking between the text and my face.
今日一日はしゃがせてもらったからな。何でもやるぜ。内容はなんだ？
全部。
は？
Every penalty up until now.
なんだそりゃ。
Well,
ケイチさん、言葉遣いが弟属性になっていませんでしたよ。
はい、お姉ちゃん。
that noise he just made.
これはやみつきになるでございますわ。あと肩も揉んでもらいますわよ。ケイチくん、膝枕はいいからレナにもね。
はい、ご主人様。
ケイチくん、それすごくかわいい。もっと言ってもっと言って。
もうお許しください、ご主人様。
Rena passed out with a squeal, blood spewing from her nose like a fountain. My dignity was being trampled more than a communal doormat.
次はおじさんだね。まずはのんびりとうちわで仰いでもらおうかな。あ、そうか。これも着ないとダメだよね。スクール水着。
それ女子用だろ。俺は男子用でいいんじゃないのか。
ここにちゃんと女子スクール水着に着替えると明記してございますわ。
Satoko was like a loan shark. Actually, me trying to escape reality as fast as humanly possible was pretty adorable if I could say so myself.
だって誰のスクール水着を着るんだよ。嫌だろ。俺なんかに着られたら。
あ、おじさんそういうのは全然気にしないから。いいじゃん、役得でさ。私スタイルすっごく悪いから、ケイちゃんでも着れないことないと思うよ。
The executioner surrounded me, waggling her fingers.
ギャギャギャギャ
My first thought, it's tight around the waist. Second thought, the chest area was pretty loose. Third thought, the crotch area was...
ケイチくん、かわいいかわいい。あとこれに猫耳と首輪と尻尾をつけて完成しますです。
ケイちゃん、鏡見る？いやマジすごいって。多分見といた方がいい。
The stern, scientific, calculating nature mixed in with her fascination made Mion very scary.
遠慮します、ご主人様。
これで出来上がりですわね。このままの格好で下校するってのもあればよかったですのに。
じゃあもういいかい？着替えてさ。
While I was saying that, Mion placed her hands on my shoulders and Rika-chan slipped up behind me without a
ま
sound.
だです、ケイチ。
Uh-oh.
一番最初にやった罰ゲームが残ってますです。
Oh.
この格好で
And I forgot about that one. Rika-chan patted my head without saying a word.
よし、失礼します。
うん、入りたまえ。
I stepped forwards into the principal's office. My bell collar jingled adorably. The principal froze solid with a smile on his face as he saw me. I couldn't blame him. In the sacred place of study, specifically in his office. So I said excuse me as I entered. The sight of a person entering with a school swimsuit, cat ears, a collar, and a tail. And for it to be a young male student. Without a doubt, any normal person's psyche would have stopped cold. Well, this could be explained. We'd call it uncanny valley camouflage, if you will. When humans see others, the only they can do act after confirming this is human. Meaning that if he could not comprehend what was in front of him, that in those moments before he could begin to fully process the situation, his mind was completely blank. It was my one and only chance for victory. My penalty, rubbing the principal's head. A zashing sound echoed loudly and went straight for the special move. The principal said one thing to me, and in a heartbeat, and unfortunately, Keiichi died. That's it, that's the end of the game. Very tragic, really. That tremor sounded throughout the Hinamizawa twilight. Rest in peace, Keiichi. You will be missed. Rena was given permission to caress Rika-chan's head as much as he wanted, so they headed home together, very pleased. Once again today it was just Mion and I going home.
いやー、白熱したね。ケイちゃんがあんなに大貧民が強いとは思わなかった。
いや、俺自身が一番驚いてるよ。
If I was playing with guys, I wouldn't have been that strong.
しかし、ひってえ目にあった。あんな姿で担架で運ばれた日にゃ、松代までの恥だ。
でもいいじゃん。7台は自慢できるくらいいい目も見たんだし。
Oops. No.
おやまた会ったね、ケイチ君。
Didn't mean to double tap. Whatever. It was Tomitaki-san. Felt like I've been running into him quite often.
どうも。いい写真は撮れてますか？
ま、そこそこにね。で、
Tomitaki-san suddenly leaned over and whispered into my ear.
しかし、ケイチ君も隅に置けないな。今日はこの間とは違う彼女だね。
そういうんじゃないですよ。
とぼけないとぼけない。若いうちは経験が大事なんだからな。
As Tomitaki-san let out such a crude laugh, Mia knew what we were talking about without even hearing his whispering.
富武のおじさまだってなかなか隅に置けないって噂ですけど。
いや、僕はそんなつもりで。
はいはい。お仕事頑張っていい写真いっぱい撮ってくださいな。バイバイ。
Mion seemed to really want to get rid of this layout quickly. From the way he spoke, it seemed as if Mion knew Tomitaki-san quite well.
おじさまは今年は綿流しまで滞在ですかな？
うん、そのつもりだよ。お祭りを一通り撮影したらまた東京に帰るよ。
カメラマンってやつは本当に気楽な商売ですけど。
Sorry I'm late. No worries. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome.
早くでっかい賞を取って有名になってくださいよね。今期逃してまで写真撮影に熱中してるんだから。
I started a new job, so I'm late. No worries, no worries. Well, congratulations on the new job. I hope it is going well for you.
そんなことはないと思うな。男は味噌汁から味が出るんだよ。
味噌から味が出てどうすんですか、バッチーナ。
ん？あおっと、 そろそろ宿に戻らないと暗くなっちゃうな。
Tomitaki-san began to take his leave with a dry laugh. It didn't look like he was outmasked by Mion.
じゃあお二人ともお祭りでまた会おうね。
So excited for the festival. After waving a hand cheerfully, Tomitaki-san disappeared amid the cries of the higurashi.
あんな調子で本当に有名になれんのかね。個展開いたら私の写真展示してもらう約束になってんだけど。
ミオンは富武さんのこと知ってるんだ。
うん、知り合いっていうかほら、ここじゃよそ者はすぐ分かっちゃうからね。
昨日今日会ったばかりという感じじゃなかったな。
富武さんね、結構ちょくちょくひなみ沢に来るんだよ。年に 2,3 回くらいかな。季節の風景や野鳥を撮影してるんだってさ。ま、大した写真じゃないんだろうけどね。
The image of Mion painted of Tomitaki-san was fairly unique. The Tomitaki-san I knew was more mysterious. The words flowed naturally from my
富
mouth.
武さんって本当に野鳥撮影で来てるのかな。
It's so great seeing those OG sprites. I know I love them so much. It's so vibey. Like, I feel like the newer sprites just don't capture the feeling of Higurashi quite as well. Like, the OG sprites and then, like, the animation in the original anime are like, that is what Higurashi looks like. Like, even, like, the art style in, the Go Sochu anime. I still love Go and Sochu, but, like, I don't like the art style as much. I think the original art style is just too perfect. And Higurashi isn't really Higurashi unless it looks kinda silly, you know? Low budget, but in a good way. Mion stared blankly at me as if to ask, why do you say that?
なんかこう撮影以外の目的で来てるようなさ、そんな気がしないか？
Like about that incident, the dismemberment.
やっぱりそう思う？だとしたらいい感してるよ、ケイちゃん。
She agreed with what I thought, but was quite chipper in how she said it.
知ってるのか、ミオン。
もうね。他のみんなはひょっとすると気づいてないかもしれないけど、このおじさんの目はごまかせないしね。
Mion was posturing pretentiously, but I had easily come to a very different conclusion from what she was imagining. It felt like all apprehensions I had about Tomitaki-san disappeared, lifting a burden off my shoulders. I was finally able to appreciate how clear the evening sky over Hinamizawa was. I exhaled everything in my lungs and inhaled just as much. It smelled like dusk.
どうしたの、ケイちゃん？
日暮らしの声ってさ、こんなにも気持ちいいものだったんだなって。
ケイちゃん、何を今さら。
Will you still feel that way later, Keiichi? We both continued to giggle, not knowing why.
レナは今頃どうしてるかな。リカちゃんを思う存分可愛がれたのかな。
And I say, like, it's not really a spoiler. See, I'm trying to keep it spoiler free for people who are new to Higurashi, but I have to just mention, like maybe a month or so ago, I don't remember, there was a person on Twitter, I think, who was like live tweeting their experience playing through the visual novel Higurashi for the first time, and they were like making predictions and stuff, right? And some of their predictions were so funny. Like, I think they were getting some stuff right. But one of their predictions at one point was like, they thought that Keiichi was going to literally transform into a cicada at the end of chapter 1. Like, that was like their genuine, like, is he gonna just like transform into a higurashi? And now I can't unthink that, so now I just like keep joking to myself in my head like, oh man. It's almost at the part where Keiichi becomes a higurashi. Like, can you even imagine if that actually happened? Like, plot twist. By the end of the visual novel, every character is gonna be transformed into a cicada. They are going to be the higurashi that cry. Maybe the higurashi were just the friends we made along the way. Time to draw the higurashi. This is so funny to think about. Like, imagine if that was actually what happened. That would be so funny.
うまく持ち帰れるといいな。
どうだろうね。リカちゃんってあれでなかなかうまいから。
ああ、それは同感。頭を撫でる罰ゲーム。あれ、きっとリカちゃんだぜ。
私も同感。
We are all really cicada on the inside. So true.
校長先生の頭を撫でられるのはリカちゃんだけだし。
Everyone has an inner cicada. Just pointless chit-chat. The hot day felt like it was being cooled down by the cries of the higurashi. New tip unlocked. I think we're gonna read the last tip. And then... Sorry, I got distracted by the little pop-up. We're gonna read this tip, and then we'll probably wrap up for today. Because my voice is getting tired. I don't want to lose my voice again, you know? So we'll read our last tip. And then bid our farewell for the day. We're greeting the end of the rainy season sooner than in prior years. On this day when it feels like summer will soon arrive, I'm pleased that everyone is in good health. The season for the onikakushi is finally upon us. I believe the assistance of the town council will make this a wonderful festival. I also wish to ask for the assistance of everyone in regards to a few things. Collecting bazaar goods. Villagers are welcome to put their wares on show at the well-received Hinamizawa Grand Bazaar exhibition. Anything is welcome, from unconsumed gifts to used clothing. No raw goods, please. Management, Makino, telephone, whatever. Recruiting a Lil Festival drum dancers. The renowned Lil Festival Drum Dancers group is known for its careful choreography, the social society. The renowned Lil Festival Drum Dancers group known for its careful choreography to social society, picking last-minute participants. Why am I struggling so hard to read all of a sudden? Last-minute participants. We're looking for any Shobo elementary and middle schoolers. Management, Kibiyoshi. Taking donations. We are accepting donations in multiples of 1,000 yen. For every 1,000 yen donation, you'll be rewarded a refreshment stand ticket. Management, Sonozaki. We are always taking suggestions for ways to improve the festival. If you have an interesting idea, call Kibiyoshi. There's the 200 yen refreshment stand ticket attached below the cut line. Yeah, hype. Next Higurashi stream, I think it'll be festival stuff. So get hype for that. Go ahead and save here. And I'm gonna go ahead and close out since we've saved. So yeah, this is where we are going to be wrapping up for today's stream. Once more, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Hope you guys had fun. I am really enjoying playing through Higurashi. I hecking love this visual novel. Have to watch the recap, yippee. Lots of silly goofy stuff went down. Like today's stream, we were mostly just playing games. And I love how much like more focus the visual novel puts on like the mundane moments, like just playing games. It's so nice to see the characters like just having fun and being silly. They deserve all of the happy, silly moments in life. Thanks for streaming this game, Fab. Yay, Blee. Thank you for hanging out and watching me play this game. It means a lot that I can play the games that I love and be able to share them with you guys as well. So yeah, if you haven't already, of course I would love it if you would subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when I go live next. My next stream, I haven't scheduled it date-wise yet. I need to figure out. I'll let you guys know when, but I think I have a little bit of a messed up schedule actually because I had to cancel a couple streams last week because I lost my voice. But I do think my next stream is going to be a game called Rat Shaker. I literally do not know anything about Rat Shaker, but my brother literally gifted me the game. He sent it to me so that I could play it on stream. So it's gonna be a complete, like, blind reaction to whatever the heck Rat Shaker is. So if you are interested to see me play a game I know literally nothing about, that will be my next stream. And then probably after that, I'll finally play, in a Dream Barbecue, since I wanted to play that. I really wanted to play that last week, but I had to cancel because I couldn't talk. So Rat Shaker and then Enna Dream Barbecue will be my next two streams. I'll put the waiting rooms up once I know what days I'm gonna play them. But yeah, if you want to follow me on social media, you can do so by going to the link tree below. You can also join my Discord server, also in the link tree below. It's a lot of fun over in the Discord, and I love seeing new faces show up. And yeah, hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Bye bye! Bye bye!